What is up, friendos, and welcome into Fantasy Pros Week 4 live stream start and set questions. I am not Joe Pisapia. Joe, hour 2. A big surprise. I wore my hat backwards so it would look like I'm bald so everyone wouldn't be like really starkly freaked out or anything. I got Andrew Erickson, the Undertaker, my partner in crime. This is show 4 this week for us because this is how we roll. Good morning to all. Get those questions in the chat because we are answering them all for the next 2 hours live on the stream. We got Tom and Joe in hour 2. Mr. Andrew Erickson, what is up, buddy? What's up?
It's game day, baby. We got my Patriots heading on the road to take on the Fraudy Niners. 10.5 point spread. Like the Patriots. We'll see how it goes. But the 49ers are getting all their toys back. So how does that make you feel about... So are we still back in on Juwan Jennings, or is it still George Kittle, Debo? All these guys are back. What does that mean for Jennings, who I know a lot of people aggressively bid on this week off the waivers, and now is he back to, oh, well, you're a role player, back to the bench, or is the genie out of the bottle, as the kids like to say?
We are not super into Juwan Jennings this week because here's the one thing I was telling everybody. It's the Debo role. The Debo role. When Debo's out, Juwan Jennings went into that role, and what did that role have? 30% of the target share, and also it was awesome last week. He's not done. So, like, if you were deciding between, I saw someone put in, like, Michael Wilson in the chat. Michael Wilson and Juwan Jennings. I'd rather Juwan Jennings this week. But, you know, you're going to see Debo in that role. I think Ayuk is actually better positioned. And we got tons of Brandon Ayuk questions that we're going to be answering. And we got just a ton of questions in general. So thank you guys to the morning crew. Nice and bright and early for me out here that are hanging with me here in hour 2. I'm excited to do it all with all of you guys. Let's do 2 things really quick off the top. Biggest news that's going in that we just got before this, that Chris Olave is expected to play today. He hurt his hamstring in practice. I was assured he was not going to go. You hurt your hamstring like 4 days into practice. I did not think he was going to go. They did say he's going to test it, but The expectation is he is good to go to play. Erickson, what does that do for the ranks? I had pushed him down and was ready to kind of, take him out, but now I'm kind of reestablished him back, and I'm a little bit dicey about it. I got him in the teens and everything like that, but what did you end up doing with Olave?
Yeah, similar to where you put him. He's in the teens for me because he has a lot of upside, but now you're layering in this other injury risk. You have the Saints offense that can be kind of hot and cold at times. You're not really sure what we're going to get out of them. I expect more production out of them than we saw last week. The Falcons they can't generate any type of pressure. And that's when Derek Carr has been at his best this year. The first 2 weeks of the season, no pressure, and he was on fire. So I know we talked about Rashid Shaheed a lot. I like his to be honest, it doesn't really matter whether Olave plays or not about Shaheed because he just has to catch that one bomb. And
but Olave can play like kind of a decoy-ish role in this offense. I actually think because you likely might have the number even come down from where it was. The Shaheed number was floating up a little bit with the Olave stuff. If that comes down, I'm probably, as soon as we're done with this, going to hit a Shaheed prop for this week.
I think the biggest winner, can't believe I'm saying this, the biggest winner of this Olave potential is probably Taysom Hill, because you look at with the Saints this week, Kamara was banged up. Olave got hurt on Friday. What's the game plan here? The offensive line's a little bit banged up. They didn't have Taysom Hill last week. Taysom Hill, if you talk to anyone that follows the Saints very closely, he's the Falcons killer, man. Like, this is what this guy does. He plays the Falcons and he inflicts damage. So if you're hurting at tight end, if it's, do I play Zach Ertz? Do I play Tucker Kraft? Is Taysom Hill available? Take him. I think that he has by far the most touchdown upside out of any of those guys. And how do you become a top 5 tight end? Find the end zone. Boom. Yeah. That's like the easiest path to finding a productive tight end if you can just find one that scores. And I think Taysom Hill, if you look at just the tight end landscape, if he has that eligibility in your specific league format, he probably has the best odds, honestly. And if you look at his betting odds for touchdowns, it's not that high, right? Because the books know and they're aware of his role, especially around the goal line. So I think
Taysom Hill or Mark Andrews.
I think, if you have both guys, I would start Taysom Hill.
I would start Taysom Hill. I told you I am not starting Mark Andrews this week. I don't care what he does.
I have too much Mark Andrews to bench him everywhere, so I'm going to hedge where I can.
We didn't actually hit on this real quick, and we're going to start getting these questions. Debo, we didn't hit this. He is active. That's actually another surprise because Shanahan doesn't understand injury news, by the way. Just the most incompetent of like, oh, Christian McCaffrey is fine. He's in Germany. Like, oh, Debo Samuel's out for 3 weeks. He's playing. They don't know what the hell's going on. So Debo's going to play. So the question is do you have any trepidation of getting him out there? I don't. If he's active, he's going to do what he does normally. There's not going to be a decoy-ish play in here. You're going to see him out of the backfield a little bit. He's going to get some of the targets. I do think you could see a tiny bit more Jennings in a normal, healthy week. But I guess what I'm asking you is, are you wheels up for Debo?
Yes, 100% wheels up for Debo. I probably actually need to move him up in my rankings. I think I kind of slided him in that wide receiver 30 range because, he's coming back from the injury. But Debo is, again, like you said, Jennings in the Debo role this role is so important for the 49ers offense to function. Even last year when Debo was banged up, you saw how they played without him. And then when he comes back, this offense is just firing on all cylinders. He's so important to this role. And his injury, it wasn't a soft tissue injury, right? It was more, what was his injury? Why was he out again? Debo?
Oh God, I'm completely forgetting.
Okay. I don't think it was like, he's like a hamstring. I thought it was like a shoulder injury or something like along those lines. So it's something that I'm not probably worried about. It's Debo. He's always banged up, right? But when he plays, you have to start him because, again, these weeks are precious when Debo is available and in the lineup. So especially with Jordan Mason, again, he's the starting running back. Do we see Debo Samuel getting carries in the backfield? You want that in your fantasy players. So I'm finding ways to make sure Debo is in my starting lineup.
It was a calf injury. It's actually not great.
Okay.
Those calf injuries,
no.
Not super good. But he's out there. He's good. It's wheels up. Last thing, you were kind of insinuating that, I believe it was you this morning, or maybe it was even Mayer throwing this out. Any trepidation, and someone was bringing up, and again, I'm crediting you this, with Jordan Love and the usage of words that's been put around Jordan Love. I think it's actually a really cool, fun point. You want to throw that out real quick? And could there be any sneakiness we have with Jordan Love, and could that affect any of the weapons?
Yeah. So I think with Love, it was weird because Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport both talked about how he's going to return to the lineup. He's going to be active on game day, but neither of them flat out blankly stated that he's going to start for the Packers at quarterback, which I thought was really weird. It's like, okay, so he's going to be active. He's going to be in the lineup. but no one was like, okay, he's the QB1, the starter is back for the Packers, Jordan Love. Again, you assume that if he's active and playing, like, oh, he's the starter, right? Okay, but let's put some context in. The Packers are very, very careful with injuries with players coming back. Malik Willis has looked really, really good with this offense. I know Pat Fitzmaurice chimed in and also talked about how they're going to probably run wildcat packages with Malik Willis. So they're going to take Jordan Love off the field, even if Love is starting and there's nothing else to worry about. Malik Willis is going to play in this game at some point. I think that he's going to be involved because why not? You saw this offense really put on the field like a very dynamic run game with Malik Willis kind of adding his legs in. So I think you could see that, especially to kind of throw something else at this Brian Flores Vikings defense that has been great so far to start the year. So I would be hesitant in starting Jordan Love. I think, again, it's not a great matchup. Just let him prove to you that he's healthy and good to go, right? He's missed time with his receivers. I don't think you need to be so gun-ho, especially we have all teams playing this week. You can play Dalton. You can play Caleb Williams. You can play, I think there's so many better options than going with Jordan Love. I would keep him on the bench this week.
How about this one? Jordan Love or Anthony Richardson?
I'd play Anthony Richardson.
Really? No.
I would just lean. Look, all he has to do is score a rushing touchdown and you'll be fine. Like last week, again, he was 1 inch away or 1 yard away from a rushing touchdown. Jonathan Taylor ended up scoring it. So if he scores, like,
what do you do with the other red zone when what was the other thing he did?
God,
that happened in red zone?
He had probably one of the worst interceptions I've ever
seen. That's what it was. That's what it was. It was like the worst interception we've seen all season. That's what it was. All right. Very good stuff. So maybe a little trepidation with Jordan Love, I agree with, but not against Anthony Richardson. You guys have absolutely loaded up the chat. We are ready to answer your questions. But first, want to give you something. It's Trophy Smack time, my friends. We are teaming up with Trophy Smack to give away their flashy Stunner ring and a personalized display case. That's right. Show off your championship victory in style with this blinged out Stunner ring, and take it to the next level by designing your own display case. I said that again, just so you know I'm not saying it incorrectly. Compete with a custom commemorative metal plaque on that bad boy. To enter, just subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, drop a comment below on any of the videos. This one, if you're asking questions and you're subscribed, friends, you're entered, because that's all you got to do. We'll be announcing a winner right here on the channel, so make sure to turn on notifications so you can know when all the new videos, live streams are up, and you can claim your prize. Get that awesome customized championship Stunner ring. Ladies and gentlemen, it is go time. It's question time, and you guys have been loading it up. So, Mr. Andrew Erickson, let's get to it. We're going to kick it off appropriately with you from NE Patriots in the flex. Rashid Shaheed or Ramondre Stevenson?
I like Shaheed a lot this week, but not as much as I like Stevenson. So I'm going to stick with the running back here.
Yeah, I've been talking about too, like the 49ers, they got trounced out a little bit on the ground and they're weak on the inside. I love Ramondre Stevenson this week, but I do like Shaheed quite a bit. Polo Kev, who am I starting at flex? McLaurin, Reed, or Akers? And we love you too.
I think for me, it's going to be Jaden Reed. Still say Jaden Reed.
There's a lot of Akers questions this week. Are you into the
I think
Akers
part of it
matchup?
has to do with Joe Mixon's technically still not ruled out 100%. So I think that's just kind of look. Akers to me is an RB3, like low end flex play. You're starting him because he plays on the Texans. That's the only reason why. Like it's a bad matchup against the Jaguars run defense. You're hoping he did last week was not fun to start Akers. He scored and that saved your bacon.
Thank God he did. Yeah, I was about to say, had he not,
oh no, he was
screaming.
He was horrible. So yeah, you're just hoping he scores, and that's really it. So I would try to get away from Akers if I could, especially if Mixon ends up playing. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen, but we'll know exactly at 11:30 Eastern. But for right now, it's still Jaden Reed for me.
I know you're so pro Reed this week. This is McLaurin for me. I think that Washington-Arizona matchup is just going to be a back and forth. McLaurin looks to be, the top target. His bacon was saved a little bit by that big deep play, but you're going to be able to do that with the Cardinals. And we saw the efficiency of McLaurin. I think of everything we talked about before we started up, with Jordan Love kind of iffy, that doesn't work great for Reed. Outside of, it'd be fun if they did some like RPO type of stuff with Jaden Reed out there. You can do some weird, the T-bone, have like Jacobs here, Reed here, Willis behind, and just kind of play around with that. I just don't know what that's going to look like with this Love stuff. So I like McLaurin in this matchup like a lot. So either way, it's not Akers for both of us. I think that's a big thing. From Andre, Hi, pros. Greetings from Mexico. Who would you start? Geno, Caleb, Carr, or Fields? In the best half PPR for those quarterbacks, my friend.
It's Geno Smith for me. I think he's the safest of all guys.
Yes. I kind of want to say Fields because of the rushing up. Like, if you're going to be comfortable with Richardson in some spots for the rushing upside, Fields is kind of in there, but Geno's a safe one.
It was Richardson compared to Jordan Love, right? That's my comfort. Again, Jordan Love coming off a sprained MCL and has missed the last 3 weeks. I feel comfortable with Richardson over that guy. But I mean, all of those guys you just listed, I'm pretty sure I'm starting all of those guys, maybe not Carr over Richardson. So
I suppose. Jackson says, pros, I need you. This is an Obi-Wan type of situation. Charbonnet or Bucky Irving. And then there's a tight end one, Conklin or Likely.
I will go with Bucky, and I will go with Likely.
Okay, we're together on this. I thought you were going to say Conklin there for a minute. I am definitely Likely because we're no Andrews. Likely is going to get some catches this week, and definitely Bucky. They did say they're going to the Seahawks are going to get back to, they did it twofold. Like, we just love Charbonnet and Ken Walker's back, and we just love this 2 RB system we have. And they're like, we're going to get back to what we were earlier in the year. And it's like, oh, well, earlier it was all Ken Walker. So I don't know what side it is. Maybe you want a little bit more Charbonnet in this matchup because Walker was banged up, but it's not enough for me to not put Bucky in there. And Rachaad White had a questionable tag going into this weekend, which if there's anything to it, we probably won't find out until, like an hour from now when Joe and Tom are on the live stream.
Yeah, Rachaad White said that he had food poisoning. So he probably ate some bad salmon. Why these guys like shred out into these like mysterious food places? I have no idea.
Why they love these big dinners, these big behind the scenes. If anyone remembers, we did that awesome live stream with Justin Steele. He's a friend of Debro and I's. He's the starting pitcher for the Cubs. And we were doing this live mock draft. We had to push the mock because one of the players was doing a big dinner, and we're taking these guys out to these big dinners. These athletes, they love these big old dinners out there. And just, I don't know. There's a lot of I don't know what he had. I would like to know, see if we can have a common denominator of what is the food that gives these guys food poisoning. Are you thinking it's fish?
Yeah, probably fish.
Not a fish guy.
Maybe
never
chicken.
been a fish guy.
Chicken is
well, he gets salmonella.
Yeah, exactly. So
okay. Well, he didn't say he has salmonella. I would think maybe beef. I think you're right. I think fish is the play.
Yeah.
I don't eat fish, so I'm good there. You a salmon guy?
That's why I do like salmon. I do like
nice salmon. You look like a salmon guy. You have the look of of a salmon guy. All right. Ricardo, in a league that favors RBs, point per reception and per carry, are you starting Cam Akers over, I think he meant Jahmyr Gibbs?
I would assume so, because that's not a real player. That's a creative player in Madden 25.
It's like Cashmere. It's Cashmere.
Yeah, no, I don't care. I mean, Gibbs gets carries too, so I'm taking Jahmyr Gibbs. That does not change it for me at all.
It does not change at all. That's 100% right. I love in Madden when you would get you 10 years in, and it would be like Malik Brady. You just get these fun, just player names they've just put together. So Kashmir Gibbs still. This is the LeBron meme. Jahmyr Gibbs, Kashmir Gibbs, doesn't matter. Lions in 7. All right, let's go to the next one here. This is a theme. We have a lot of Ayuk questions, so hopefully this is going to help. And one of them was actually 2 of these players. We have Ayuk, Olave, London, Godwin, and we've got to sit 1. Who are we sitting?
I probably just sit Olave. I think they're all good options, but Olave is the one that's most likely to get re-injured. Would you agree with that, I guess?
Yeah, I think so. And the one that we saw, I saw tons of, and this is going to semi-answer, is Ayuk versus Olave. And I think this tells that. London's in a fine spot. Godwin has kind of been the monster. We've seen, I don't know if it's more bracketed coverage on Mike Evans. He just hasn't been able to have that big one deep, and Olave's been the safety net. And again, Ayuk, I think it was the 5th most man coverage is run by the Patriots, and he's one of the best. He has one of the best separation scores and just one of the best separators against man coverage. But then the cornerback matchup, if he's blanketed, there's a little bit of a mystery with will the defensive matchup versus what Ayuk is good at, what will play out. But with Debo back, that actually really helps with what the Patriots are going to try to do for coverage. All of this to come back around and say it's a good spot for Ayuk this week. So yeah, I would also sit Olave. And then the other question it answers Ayuk to the Olave people that are out there.
Whenever it seems like there's players like very similar tiers, try to look at it as not who has like the most upside, but look at who has the most downside, right? When they're all like seem like pretty good options ranked near each other, just try not to pick the wrong guy. Stop trying to pick, I need to pick like 3 guys that score the most points. Just don't pick the guy that scores the least amount of points. And how do you score the least amount of points? You get re-hurt during the game, which would most likely be Olave in that situation.
It's been an issue for me for a long time, and you really just cleared it up. Stop picking the wrong guy. See, like,
stop picking the wrong guy and stop.
Never occurred to me before.
To pick the right guy.
Oh,
no, because people always ask who do I start, not who do I sit. Yeah, I am the Undertaker after all. So
this is that man. You're memeing the show together. You're like, don't think about who to start, about who to sit. There you go. This is classic Erickson. I love it. All right. Happy Sunday, FP. Locked in for the stream. Hell yeah. I'm always looking forward for Sunday mornings. Hopefully hanging with me too. My questions is, should I start Keenan Allen over Dobbs or McConkey? My other wide receivers are Brown and Dortch. Which Brown? It's not, I mean, AJ's out. Is there another?
Diami Brown? Noah Brown?
All the, because you have Hollywood's out.
It's got to be
AJ's
Noah.
out.
It's got to be Noah Brown.
Noah Brown,
That's the only Brown I can think about. I know. You're playing Keenan Allen all over all these jabronis.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Sorry. Look, Keenan Allen, man, when he's healthy, dude, and that still remains to be seen. But if he's playing, I'm assuming he's healthy. And when he's healthy, he's a monster. I mean, the first game of the year, he was horrible, but he still had 11 targets. So, yeah, you got to go back to Keenan Allen.
I also have Keenan Allen anytime touchdown. I talked about on the BP show, Erickson and I believe it's up to like plus 340. I'm just going to say this again. He got 2 red zone targets in that first game. He has been out. Caleb looks to Keenan Allen. Now they have to get into the red zone. That's been a problem with Caleb. But if they get there, Keenan Allen is going to get a target. And I love that anytime touchdown this week, especially if you're looking for one that's outside of 3-1. Mwah. I also played one of those just ridiculous touchdown calls this week, Erickson, where it's like 3, more locked, like a Jordan. I put like Jordan Mason, Breece Hall, and one other person, and then I attach Keenan to it, so I could get a nice 29-1, and Keenan Allen really pushed that up just for some funsies this week. And then I'm gonna also solo Keenan Allen.
Nice little sprinkle.
Little sprinkle. You want remember what was our degenerate one? Like one of my degenerate one from BP was little sprinkle on Keenan, little Greg Dortch. And then we had the other one where it was my Keenan Allen. And then you had some ridiculous. What was your ridiculous
Eric
one?
All.
Eric All. That's right. Oh my God.
He's
I love it.
He's
scoring. Count it.
The Bengals score 40. There's a good chance that he's one of those touchdowns.
Eric All and Keenan Allen, put those together and just have some fun this weekend. All right. Good morning. Pick 3 full PPR. Shakir, Deontay, Carson, Steele, Calvin Ridley, Terry McLaurin, Rashid Shaheed. That's a lot of players. 3 full PPR. Okay. I was thinking about this. What do you think, Erickson? I feel like instantly Shaheed, McLaurin, and Deontay is my reactionary pick. But what say you?
I agree. Those are the same 3 guys I want.
Okay. That's easy enough.
Sweet.
Look at those. Look at those quick reactions. Friends, before we get to more questions, I want to talk to you guys about Game Blazers. Game Blazers, my friends, is changing daily fantasy sports. The roster building process has been gamified. Gone are the days of salary cap DFS. Now, build your lineup by opening packs of player cards, creating a stable of players with true ownership of your fantasy roster. And some players are even permanent. Yeah, forever. Every pack contains enough players to form a roster. Collect as many packs as you want to increase your available player pool. And Game Blazers combines the skill-based contests of DFS with the excitement, fun, and strategy of a Dynasty League or Madden Ultimate Team. Every first-time user on Game Blazers can claim a free starter pack to get right into the game. Game Blazers is available for free and for real money contests, including weekly free rolls with thousands in cash prizes. This is fantasy football revolutionized. Rip packs, build lineups, win cash, baby. Join 13,000 plus players who have won over $100,000. Check out Game Blazers after the show using the link in the description. Get it going today. Game Blazers. I love that line, by the way, that rip packs, build lineups, win cash. I love that. Don't rip
the ultimate trifecta. The ultimate trifecta.
Rip it, line it up, rip it, build it, win it. That's their new catchphrase. All right, let's get back to it. Joe, not the Pisapia, says, good morning, pros. Start Goff, Darnold, or Geno. So a little bit better options going with Geno this time.
I like Goff. That's what I'm going to go with.
I like Lamp. Yeah, Goff. I actually have, my FFPC. I have Goff, Darnold, and Richardson. And Richardson is firmly on the bench, and it's Goff in the lineup right now. So you co-sign, right?
Yeah. I like that.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Goff.
That's all we're looking for. How are those FFPCs going?
Not great.
No,
it's weird because I feel like the teams aren't that bad, but I just keep losing. So clearly they're not that good. But I look at my roster, I'm like, got Kyler Murray at quarterback, Breece Hall. Like, what's wrong with this team?
You'll be proud of me. So one of them I'm 2-1, the other 3-0. Both teams I have Mark Andrews, and I'm still rolling.
That's the thing. Maybe that's what's killing me because I have Mark Andrews on much of these teams too, and all these zeros are really killing me.
But I'm winning. But I also took Kittle in one of them. It's like you get like 1.5 per reception on tight ends and whatnot. But I also had Juwan Jennings in there last week too, which helped.
We had Juwan Jennings on the bench, me and Tom. Classic.
It's all hard. That's rough. Let's go to this one. Good morning, gentlemen. PPR, Chris Olave or Khalil Shakir. That's a pretty good one. And then we'll do the defense is Miami, Buffalo. Definitely Miami on the defense, not Buffalo against the Ravens. But what do you think about Olave or Shakir?
My rankings are going to the rankings are going to say Olave. But look, if you want the guy that's less risky, it's Shakir, right? If you just want to lock in production and not sweat it about the injury, hamstring. I mean, Shakir that's Josh Allen's guy, right? And he's super efficient this year. So I think the ceiling play is still Olave. But if you want give me 10 points, 12 points, Shakir's the guy. So, yeah, I think you got to look at your matchup and really think about what do I need? Do I need to shoot for the ceiling here? Did my opponent play Neighbors and CeeDee Lamb against me and I'm down by like 50 heading into Sunday? Okay. But if they started Zeke. Great. I got a freebie. Let's roll with Olave. So that's how I would approach it.
I knew you were going to, and if you hadn't said that, I was going to say that like your matchup could dictate it. Your upside play, if you need to, Hail Mary it, Olave's the play, but you just need to get those solid 8-9 points like Khalil Shakir is the play. Update here. Joe Mixon officially out. So it's officially official. No Joe Mixon. It's the Cam Akers show, but that's still like an RB, 3 or something like that. And also breaking news, Mike Mayer says he has had food poisoning twice in his life, both chicken. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know. I thought it would have been more like, I would feel like if you had chicken from food poisoning, it would be more serious, but maybe I'm just off. Not a big food poisoning guy. Sorry. You?
not into it.
I'm just not into it.
Not my food to poison me.
Yeah, I mean, I do a good job at not getting it poisoned. When was the last time you were poisoned by your food?
I don't remember. I feel like I honestly don't know. I can't remember. I mean, I think I probably had it before. Maybe just not to like the extent where it's like super, super obvious, but like small increments of food. You know that if you eat too much tuna has like mercury in it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Poisonous. Going back to the fish. Going back to the fish conversation.
It's all the fish with the mercury, I think. Yeah, exactly. So just limit your mercury is what we're saying. All right.
The favorite, the number one of the planets, Mercury.
Yeah, that'll be the new chat. We do all these questions. We're like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, what's your favorite way to get food poisoning? What poisons you the most? Let's talk about it in the chat. Let's see what you've been poisoned by the most.
Food poisoning, not for me.
Yeah, hit it in the chat below, guys, and hit the like button. All right. Robert says, good morning, Guru Monks. I have a dilemma in PPR. Who would you start at quarterback? Geno again. Jordan Love. So I think that's going to be easy, Geno, based on what we talked about before. And in tight end, Conklin or Kraft? I think there's some updates we need on Kraft, but are you comfortable with just Conklin maybe to play it safe? I mean, Love does like Kraft, but I don't know. That's been a weird tight end situation all year.
I mean, I love Kraft. I mean, you ask anybody. I love Tucker Kraft, but I mean, he still hasn't shown the ceiling yet, really, in the game. Whereas Conklin, he had a good game last week, and you look at Denver's defense. not like they're going to scheme away how to stop Tyler Conklin. They're going to try to focus on Garrett Wilson. So I think Conklin's he's probably the play, even though my heart says Tucker Kraft. The numbers suggest Tyler Conklin's probably the
Sometimes, yeah, you got to go with your head over your heart. So Cheryl's in the house. Cheryl says Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts.
Jaden Daniels.
We both have Jaden Daniels ahead of Hurts. I like the, I mean, I was saying this, I think, before we got on air. The Jalen Hurts rushing prop, just kind of like, just something I'm paying attention to, but there's no receivers. I mean, they got Dallas Goedert. Jaden Daniels' matchup is great. He's efficient. He's running the ball. He's a top 5 guy. I got him at 3 this week at quarterback. I don't know where you have him.
I have him at 4. So you're starting him over Lamar then, right?
Yeah.
Why? Why over Lamar? That seems aggressive to me. Lamar is on pace to break the NFL record on quarterback rushing.
Hold on, we're looking. I preemptively asked. Let me see if that's the case.
I mean, I think it is
the case.
I mean, I think it's. I mean, look, it's 3 versus.
Jaden was the case that they gave me, man.
Jaden's the case that they gave.
When do you think when's the last time? No, not to make a big point about it, when's the last time do you think Lamar had 2 incompletions in a game where he threw 20?
When was the last time Jaden Daniels rushed for 100 yards?
Oh, checkmate. Check. All right, we're in check.
That's what I'm saying. What scores more fantasy points?
So wait, is this our bet? We did the Juwan Jennings versus Kirk bet last week.
That was horrible.
Put one for the Welsh. Let's put Jaden Daniels up for Lamar. This is a much more even.
Oh, yeah. I'll take Lamar.
Okay. There's a couple people out there in the industry that have Jaden at 1 at quarterback this week. So just pointing that out.
It seems a little recency bias based on what he did on Monday night.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it'd be cool if Lamar had, tight ends that he threw to, and he has 1 receiver.
Well, I mean, they're going to throw this week. They're playing Buffalo. They don't have the opportunity to give the ball to Derrick Henry 30 times.
See,
points.
That's funny. That right there. If they're playing from behind, it's going to play even more to Lamar. But I think they are going to try to control this game on the clock, on the ground. Lamar, Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, they're going to try to control that clock, so they're not put in that situation. But to be fair, I'm not like pounding the table for Jaden over Lamar. I loved what I saw. Jaden, 2 incompletions last week. He's going to run all over the Cardinals. He's going to throw all over the Cardinals. And their defense is so bad. Marvin Harrison might have 100 yards in the first quarter, and they're going to be playing catch up, which is going to put an efficient Jaden Daniels throwing the ball a bunch. They don't have Eckler, which maybe isn't great. I just like Jaden Daniels. I like Lamb. We turned this, by the way, into Jaden Daniels versus Lamar. It was Hurts. We're both clearly going with Jaden Daniels.
Yes.
All right. So what's the bet then?
Lamar versus.
No, but let's. What do you
shaving the other side of your head?
Oh, shave the other side. Okay, yeah. Your hair grew back.
My head is already my theoretically in theory is already shaved half of it.
Oh yeah, if we could do like quarters, because I do like the sides too, like right there. So there you go. All right, let's get back to it. Everyone's like, shut the hell up. Tom. Cam Akers or Brian Thomas, full PPR?
Brian Thomas for me. Love him this week.
Yes, Brian Thomas, deep play. God, we've been waiting for like the big game because he had those like 2 big plays like 2 weeks ago. Remember that one day I had his receiving yard prop and he did it on 1 catch. This feels like the Brian Thomas big week, big rookie wide receiver.
Jaguars are showing up this week against Houston. Everyone thinks they're just gonna roll the Jaguars. Now, division game in the Dome. Jaguars are going to come out firing, and it's going to be Brian Thomas. So,
are you saying the Jags are going to cover?
Look, not all 0-3 teams aren't just going to lose today. Again, they're not just going to be all 0-4. So, you got the Bengals, Jaguars. Who's the other 0-3 team? I can't remember who it is.
Feels like the Niners, but
no, Jaguars are going to cover plus 6.5. Easy.
Oh, is it 6.5? Oh, good teaser. That would be a really good teaser, by the way. This is for Peralt in like an hour and a half.
He likes the Jags too. That was one of his first picks. And I was like, yes, me and Peralt on the same side. Let's go.
I might tease that one. So I have a teaser today. It's New Orleans and Buffalo. Tease them up. You get them at 8.5, and you get Olave back. Buffalo plus 8.5. I mean, tease is a whole nother thing, but like that one. All right. Pitts or Komet from Sebastian?
Pitts for me. I'm worried about Komet and Keenan Allen coming back. I would not. I feel like playing Komet based on last week is point chasing, to be totally honest. Like, I don't think Caleb's going to throw 52 times. I don't think Komet's nearly going to have as many targets as he had last week with Keenan Allen back. So,
Big Pitts guy here this week. Lazard or Leggett?
I'll stick with Lazard. I mean, he's been good with Aaron Rodgers, and he's not going to have Surtain on him. So
Samesies. I like that one. Here's a good one. Waddle, Mooney, or Hopkins from Ryan. We are just in the dumps on Waddle this week.
Yeah, I actually moved Waddle out of one of my starting lineups for Mooney, so I'm going with Darnell Mooney here. Look, his target share is right there up with Drake London, just hasn't scored the touchdowns. But if Lattimore is covering Drake London, which is the projected wide receiver quarterback matchup, then Mooney should get some more favorable looks. So I like Darnell Mooney, he's explosive playmaker downfield, got Cousins, playing at home, in the dome. Give me Mooney.
I'm gonna go with Waddle. I'm back on standing on that business. I'm back standing on that business.
We can't. Okay, but Waddle, Achane, and Tyreek Hill can't all have a great game.
Like, I'm not saying Waddle's gonna have a great game, but I'm also not sure Mooney's gonna have like a super big game. Like I am on business about Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
And Achane is a no-brainer here. But
yes.
You say that like the Dolphins don't have three of those guys actually be monsters when Tua's the quarterback. I don't know. I don't think it's outlandish to say this isn't like it's Ayuk or Waddle. This is Mooney. Like Mooney's good. Mooney's solid. But the Falcons have made Ray McLeod look like a starter in and week out. Like Mooney's fine. Hopkins got some run last week. I mean, Hopkins might be the play. There's just something about like if they're playing short stuff, like Waddle plays well in that short to 10-yard, but I'm not convicted on this one. I mean, Erickson's the smarter guy here. Mooney is a safe play. There's just something about that Dolphins business this week that I'm really hoping for. And if not, you know what? I'll just delete my account for a week or something, or mute every.
Oh my God, the troll! Yeah. Thank God we can only wait. We don't have to wait till Monday night. So it's like we can enjoy our Sundays. No one's going to come after us. We'll show
Tyreek Hill, huh?
We'll show up on the trade show Tuesday morning and be like, Tyreek Hill, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Just because he's Tyreek Hill. That's how they're gonna all sound. Nay said, not even for advice on lineup. Just want to say thanks for all the work you guys do. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you. We love to do it, man.
We do. Yeah, it's literally a dream. I get to hang with that pretty face right there, like so much. Like we are literally a tag team. We've become a tag team. You didn't ask for it, but we've become a tag team. Like it's kind of like if you're wrestling, like I'm Kevin Nash-ish type of guy. I'm a big guy. You got like an X-Pac feel, but like more distinguished. Do you know who these things are?
These things? No.
No.
Like,
all right. All right, that's fine. Seth will be our Scott Hall in the back. But that would be like more me and Seth. Like Scott Hall and Steve Nash were more the tag team. It's like this is like X-Pac and maybe Rey Mysterio in the Big Show. I think they wrestled for a little bit. Nothing? Still nothing?
You know, I'm better with like food comparisons. Going back to the food.
Oh, with food poisoning? Which wrestler has poisoned you? We'll put it all together.
No, I was going to say like, no, can we be like peanut butter and jelly, right? Can we be like that type of like duo? Can we do that instead of like wrestling? Like, you know.
Okay.
I mean, we got to stick with this food theme because we're talking about food poisoning. So I don't know.
Fair enough. I was just saying we're a tag team. Okay, we're food. And you know what? How often do you get food poisoning from peanut butter and jelly unless you have a peanut allergy? Yeah, we'll kill somebody. We'll literally kill somebody.
That is worse than food poisoning.
All right. Well, see, then you're not a great person, Erickson. You want to kill someone with the allergy. I'm saying we're wrestlers. It's fake.
Oh, it is fake. You're right.
Yeah. All right. Let's get back to it. We're having too much fun. Should I bench Garrett Wilson for Pickens? Oh, that's actually a good question. Not that I'm
not going to do it. No. So
what's your level on Garrett Wilson? Like there's a little bit of uncomfortableness going on with him right now.
Yeah. So I think that the play is right now he's a wide receiver 2. And the schedule's not great. So he's probably just going to be a wide receiver 2. But to me, it reminds me a lot of CeeDee Lamb last year, right? He didn't really start out that great. He was kind of mid. He wasn't putting up great production. But then what happened in the second half of the year, he was wide receiver 1 and nobody could touch him. I could see that happening for Garrett Wilson. So I know that right now it kind of feels like, I spent a guy on the first round pick and he's not a difference maker, but he's not killing you. Like at least he's scoring some points. So you got to hold him unless you're 0-3. That's the only time I'd be like, I got to move off of Wilson because I need production like right now. But if I was 3-0, Garrett Wilson's a buy. Like you should be going to get him because down the stretch, you could see Rodgers and him starting to click, more shootouts. You could see Garrett Wilson be that difference maker that you drafted him back into the first round for. So that's kind of my take on Wilson. And to go to like the whole Patrick cornerback thing, look, it all depends on, I think these are very situational based where, well, does Rodgers is Rodgers going to make a statement about like, no, like Garrett Wilson's my guy. Like, I think that he can be, I mean, if they're going to put Surtain on Wilson, that means Milt Wilson's going to get one-on-one coverage. And if Rodgers believes Wilson can beat Surtain in one-on-one coverage, he's going to get opportunities. So I'm not trying to overblow this Surtain. Oh, he's going to lock him down. It means he's going to get man-to-man coverage, which means if Garrett Wilson wins, he can rip. All he has to do is beat him on one play, 80-yard touchdown, because there's no safety over the top. So again, I think Wilson's still a wide receiver 2 for me, and I think that I still like that game environment maybe a little bit more than Steelers and Colts.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting closer. Garrett Wilson's 15 on the consensus ranks, and you've got George Pickens at 23. So they're technically both 2s. Maybe there's a tier difference. There's also something that we have for you guys for these tough decisions. It is my playbook. My playbook has got your back when you are confused who to start, worried you're going to make the wrong decision. You're never going to make the wrong decision. It's yours, friends. But let us do the work for you and take the stress out of lineup management with my playbook's autopilot tool. We're not always here on a live stream. Even though Erickson is one of the most accessible people and nice people on the planet, he's not always here for you. So let autopilot be your fantasy pro in your hand and by your side. Autopilot makes it easy to manage your fantasy lineup, your fantasy team's lineup. You can get suggested lineup changes via email, have us auto swap inactive players, and you can even turn on full autopilot to have your lineup optimized and set automatically each week. You can use autopilot at fantasypros.com/myplaybook or download the My Playbook app and just sync up your league and get rocking with it. And we got other great tools. The Will They Play option is a really cool thing that we've added in. And I've mentioned it before. There's this other really great tool that it's how do players perform when players are out. So you can actually test the players when others are out. So go and check it out today. Set it and forget it. My Playbook. All right. Maybe not a fantasy pro analyst in your hand, but you know what I'm saying? Like beep, boop, beep. You can get Erickson. Yeah, there you go.
There I am.
That's a good sound. You have a good robot sound. Beep, boop, beep, beep, boop, beep, 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 boop, bop. Ashton, point PPR, start one. Tajay Spears, Roshan, or Chase Brown. I heard through the grapevine you're kind of a Roshan guy.
I've been a Roshan guy since day one, baby. Go Longhorns. I'm going to go with Roshan here. I would say don't get carried away with Roshan because there's still a chance he's not the goal line back, and they just still use Khalil Herbert. So keep that in mind. I know that I got some probably a little aggressive questions about Roshan in the Discord earlier this morning. I'm like, guys, don't get carried away. Again, we're still talking about the Bears offensive line that can't run block. Just because Roshan's a little bit better than Swift and running between the tackles, we're not all of a sudden going to see just this RB1 emerge from the Bears.
Yeah, what was the aggression? Was it just in caps? People are like, Roshan! Like in caps?
It was hey, should I start Roshan over like Bijan Robinson and Devon Achane? It was aggressive. So that's why I was like, guys, like let's take a breath. Take a deep breath. I know that Roshan's getting the pump from the coaching staff. We love that, but this is more like flex, not like locked and loaded RB1. And hey, if I'm wrong, I'll be happy to be wrong about Roshan because I love Roshan.
That you're wrong that you should have sat Bijan Robinson for Roshan? Yeah.
Hey man, you should have sat everybody on your team for Jawan Jennings last week. So
it's technically true. Yeah,
exactly.
That's right. All right, that is aggressive, actually. All right, let's keep rolling with it. About 15 minutes until the crossover, till we've got Joe Pisapia and we got Tom back in the house, and Erickson and we kick rocks. Jacob says, should I start Amari Cooper or Josh Jacobs at flex?
I'm gonna go with Amari Cooper.
I am going to go with Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs.
Bad vibes around the Raiders right now. Bad vibes. No Max Crosby. Devontae now is going to be out week to week. This is.
Well, Josh Jacobs is a Packer, but yeah,
it's not going the right direction.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying
Cooper's playing the Raiders in a revenge.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I said Josh Jacobs, and you started talking about the Raiders. I want to be like, he's a Packer now. That was
Cooper's playing the Raiders.
Completely reasonable too. But you know what? Both of us reasonable responses.
Yes.
You just brought it back, and I was like, Josh Jacobs not a Raider anymore.
It's not like it would be the first time someone was talking about the wrong team in the wrong match.
It happens. It's our brains. There's a lot going on. It's totally all right. Jay, Drake London or Deontay Johnson?
Deontay. Just gotta stay in the Flames. Stay in the Flames.
Yes, definitely yes. Because it's Red Dead Redemption 2, as I've called it, against the Bengals this week. So
yeah, the only thing like with Deontay that concern. Oh, again, he did pick up that groin injury during the week. He should play. So on that's the only thing that concerns me about Deontay is if we look up and be like, oh, he got hurt during the game. But I mean, what can you do?
What would I mean? Yeah, I mean, Leggett would just end up being like amazing. It's just like, who else?
Or
is there?
just I'm also snaring Andy Dalton. Actually, so to inspire a lot of my quarterbacks in these 2 QB leagues that have just been horrible, Richardson, Mahomes, they got put in the super flex spot. I put Andy Dalton in the QB1 slot.
Oh, you wanted them to know where they stand.
They're like, you guys need to step up. So they've been demoted to the super flex slot, whereas Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, is at the top of my lineup in QB1.
Well, sometimes you got to put your fantasy players, your digital fantasy players in their place and let them know positionally you can't get back up to that quarterback spot until you start performing, buddy.
Exactly. I'm trying to motivate these guys. I'm trying to be a good general manager of my team.
Did you see the video this week? The guy was outside the Bengals and was yelling at T Higgins and was like, hey, T, I got you on my fantasy lineup. I need you to pick it up this week. And T was just like, just bench me. Like, I guess it's fun to be cute. You can maybe be cute about that, but I'm not going to talk to any player about fantasy.
If I ever ran into an NFL player, talking about them on my fantasy team would be the single last thing I would ever bring up.
Can you imagine? Be like, hey, let me tell you about this time you won me weeks out. Like, they would just never want to speak to you.
Maybe we should have NFL players draft fantasy analysts, and then
I think that's been talked about before. I mean, I think only Eckler would be able to do that. Like, Eckler's the only one that's really involved in the fantasy. He's not doing anything this week, so he could maybe do it. So,
he's hanging out.
Yeah, he could probably. I mean, but then it's gonna be like Matt Harmon will be 1-1, and then it'll just be everybody else. But I think that would be fun. That would definitely be fun to do that. I'd love to be, the bench pick for.
I'd love to be the waiver wire out of the week. That'd be great.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be fun. All right. I'm sure that would totally make us all feel really good about ourselves. All right. Brian C. Olave. Should I start Ken Walker or Pittman over Olave?
I would not. Look, I know Walker's coming back, but his matchup is also horrible.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind. He's
not
coming off an injury. Pittman is just, he's so set up. he's 4 for 40. Just lock it in. That's the Pittman stat. That's the Pittman stat line that's coming. 4 for 40.
Remember when we had high hopes for Pittman?
In the preseason? It just, basically it's all the things that made him fall last year. And then we just copied and pasted it was bad.
What's it going to feel like when 3 straight weeks pass and Josh Downs outperforms him just every week?
I guess the thing with Pittman is it can only get better because it's going to improve. But to what extent does it actually make a difference? That's the thing.
Yeah, you could say that about Ezekiel Elliott in the running game with the Cowboys too.
Yeah, they need Javonte Williams. He will be a Cowboy soon.
That'll change it all.
Dude, Javonte, man, I am also Audric Estime. I'm not giving up hope on Estime. When he comes back from injured reserve, he's taking over this Broncos backfield because there's no one that they've shown any hope in. And like Braylon Allen, who's been a monster. Remember why he fell in the draft? Because of the Underwear Olympics. You know who else fell in the draft because of the Underwear Olympics? Audric Estime. So again, deeper formats, stash him on your injured reserve. Make sure Estime's not out there because he's coming back soon. So just keep that in mind.
What was he tweeting about? What that I didn't understand. Braylon Allen, did you see his tweet? He was just like, one day I'm going to go on a podcast and I'm going to tell the world.
I just saw him retweeting why he fell in the draft or something like that.
Oh, is it going to be about why he fell in the draft?
Because I ran a slow 40, even though when you just look at him play football, which, wow, go figure. That's the thing that matters more. He's good at football and he's 20 years old.
Yeah. He could probably tweet. I think it'd be as compelling in a tweet than, drug out over 6 hours or whatever it's going to be. All right. JSN or Higgins, half PPR.
Speaking of Higgins, I'm going to go with Higgins here.
Well, he told you to sit him, though.
He told that guy to sit him because he doesn't like that guy. So.
Oh, because that guy yelled at him. He wasn't like, hey, T, I love you. He was like, you need to step up for my fantasy team this week.
Nah, I like the Bengals a lot. Higgins had red zone opportunities last week. I don't think Yoshivas is going to just catch touchdowns every single week. So if it's not Yoshivas scoring, I think you could see Higgins find the end zone and half PPR touchdowns mean a lot. So I'm going to go with Higgins.
I'll go JSN. I think JSN. I like the matchup. That's why I like DK Metcalf so much, is I just think they're going to be slinging the ball. Ken Walker does change the vibes a little bit that, between Charbonnet and Walker, they might want to run more, but I think we'll get back up on JSN. Possible scenarios of every other week JSN, just putting that out there. This will confirm if we are every other week for the rest of the season, which means you can't start JSN next week, but we'll get back to that. And you know what? In about 10 minutes, Tom is a huge JSN guy. Let's get his vibes on JSN, because he was like massive JSN last week. If he's out, that doesn't bode very well. All right, let's go. How about full PPR, Khalil Shakir or Zay Flowers?
Zay, baby.
Zay
This
Day.
is the Zay. Yeah,
Yep.
Zay Day is happening. Over 4.5 receptions, over everything. He's the Raven I actually have confidence in. Like, again, the tight ends, just like, I think one of them's going to hit. Can't guarantee you. I actually have to start both of them in our fantasy content league. I have Andrews and I likely in the flex. So last week was a disaster.
That's been my worst league, by the way. That's my only like really bad league right now is our content. Bad. I'm in 2. I'm in like the analyst and then the content one. Actually, both of those have not been like super great. But
Zay is
I prefer FFPC be good. Yeah, Zay is an absolute smash. All right, we're gonna get into lightning round, but first we want you guys to go check out our friends over at Betting Pros, because we've got an NFL contest for you. You can join our NFL podcast group today. You can join the group by visiting the community tab in the Betting Pros app, or by going to bettingpros.com/NFL contest. Sync your picks or use the quick pick feature on the Betting Pros app. Get a chance to win free weekly and monthly prizes. Elevate your betting strategy and join the conversation today at bettingpros.com/NFL contest. And I tell everybody as well, it's a great way, even if you are not in a legal place to bet, or you are comfortable in the betting space, putting all that money down, was sinking. You can go in and just make your picks. And it's actually a really good way to test, to kind of see where you are at and what you need to change, because you can track your record. And while you're doing it, you could potentially open yourself up to free weekly and monthly prizes. So go and check it out today at our friends over at Betting Pros, who also have a show coming up in a little over an hour. Matt Peralta, I don't know, probably Fitzy, I'm going to guess, is going to be coming on. Yep. Fitzy will be doing that, and they'll be going through all of some of their best bets. All right, let's get back to it. Let's go into hyper mode. Brees lightning round. Brees lightning round. Exactly. Deebo Samuel, Amari Cooper. Deebo. Ooh, okay. I didn't think we would agree there. Another one. Deebo or Dunze. Deebo. Okay. I've a blemish, blah, 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 blah. Trying to flex position, half PPR, London, Deebo, Montgomery, McLaurin. Jeez, look at all those in my flex. Oh yeah, it's just one. So just one. London, Deebo, Montgomery, McLaurin.
All Montgomery does is score touchdowns. And that's why when people always ask me about, I just say Montgomery, and so far through 3 weeks, it's worked pretty well. So I'm just going to keep saying Montgomery.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. If it were full PPR, maybe a tiny bit different, but half PPR. I don't know. Deebo's the one that's jumping out to me. They'd probably love to get Deebo involved in the running game here and in the red zone. Deebo touchdown, but Montgomery's the play.
I will say touchdown. The Seahawks are also down like 3 starting defensive linemen. So
love that.
Lions are going to see that and be like, 30 touches for Montgomery and Gibbs. Let's go.
Tommy likey. Tommy want wingy. Do you know what that's from?
No.
Really?
I am not cultured.
I mean, just
clearly.
Damn, that one hurt.
I lived a sheltered childhood. No, I didn't actually. My childhood was very enjoyable.
One of the people in that movie is actually an avid Fantasy Pros fan. Follows us and just commented.
What movie?
Tommy Boy.
Okay.
Chris Farley, David Spade. David Spade just commented on one of our videos. He's been like a longtime Fantasy Pros person.
Yeah. David Spade.
Yeah. Hat tip to David Spade, also out here. I saw him at the airport one time. He had a magazine up and he didn't like want anyone to see him, but I knew it was him.
But you knew it was him anyway.
I knew 100% because he's not like super tall, like, and I'm like super tall. I knew exactly who it was and I wanted to go over, but because he was like holding, it was like a newspaper, I didn't feel compelled to do it. It was at the airport as well, but shout out to David Spade. Love you. Say what's up to me. All right, Troy, Ayuk, Reed, or Olave. That's kind of a variation we've seen.
Ayuk.
I think this is Ayuk. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Shaheed or Ayuk? Ayuk. Okay. Goddard or Kincaid?
Goddard. Goddard is what? Isn't he tight end 1 or tight end 2 in ECR?
2. Bowers is 1. Goddard is 2. But Kincaid, a really good matchup too. I'll go Goddard.
I do got Goddard. I mean, the targets are there for him. Like he's going to get the volume. So I think it's him.
Okay. We got like variations of all the same questions. Let me get through these. Olave, Deontay, JSN. We pick 2, or we sit 1, as Erickson might see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit the guy that has 1 good game in 3 weeks. So it's JSN.
Yeah,
actually, Deontay's also has only 1 good game. So I take that back. That's bad rationale. I just think JSN I'm least confident. Again, I think this Ken Walker thing does kind of concern me for the receivers a little bit because if the Seahawks are like, oh, now we can run the football, which I don't think you can do, but we see teams sometimes step out of their what they do well because, oh, they get this guy back. We want to run the football with Ken Walker. And that ends up resulting in suboptimal play calling. So I think Olave and Deontay are just still, I think, tiers above JSN.
Yeah, I think I'm good with that as well. The Olave, the hamstring really does worry me. We're just going to probably just have to bite the bullet. Like him being active is a good sign. There definitely is the possibility of, I don't know, the whole like decoy thing too. That's a little bit more of like a later in the year thing. Like it's like week 15, you really need to win these games, and a player kind of pushes through and you move the offense. I don't know. Olave is probably more wheels up than he is decoy at the end of the day, but I'll sit JSN. That wasn't really lightning round. Sorry. Pittman or Hopkins?
Hopkins.
Hopkins. Yeah.
I have more faith
too.
right now in Levis. I mean, Hopkins has a good game this year. So,
dude, there's the all prove it to me team where the all prove it to me team lives in a world where I'm comfortable sitting them and eating whatever ends up happening. Richardson, Pittman, Andrews,
Colts players.
Yeah, that's true. Jonathan Taylor, Josh Downs. But no, like there's an all like if they're awesome on the bench, it's like, do you blame me for after almost a month of garbage play? And Pittman is on that team. I don't know if there's, we could fill out a roster of it, but it is Richardson, Pittman, and Mark Andrews right now that they just don't qualify for me. All right, let's keep going. Colby Parkinson or Hunter Henry?
Henry. The 49ers can't stop the middle of the field.
But they can stop tight ends. Fred Warner is one of the best covered linebackers in the league. Except here's my problem, and this is good to your logic. I've been saying I think they're going to bring someone up to kind of protect that line. And if that is the safety help, Warner is either going to have to be locked down on Hunter Henry, which means he'll do nothing all game, or Warner's going to be doing his usual move around, and then all of a sudden Henry is going to kill the middle of the field. So yeah, Henry's better play just regardless. Carson, Deontay Johnson, or Zach Moss?
Deontay.
Full PPR.
Deontay.
Yeah, Deontay. Rashad White or Bucky? Full PPR.
I think the full PPR, you got to go with White. I think it matters. Like half PPR, I would play Bucky, but full PPR because White is going to catch passes. Like that's what I'm most confident in his role. And Bucky also is dealing with this hamstring thing, which again, a lot of hamstring injuries here in week 4. Not great to see, but yeah, I'll go with White in the full PPR.
Yeah, and White still does dominate the red zone usage, and he's catching out of the backfield. Like Bucky is fun, and like if I had to take, if this was a betting thing, and I had to take the rushing yard prop of either White or Bucky, I would take Bucky. But White still has 2 things working for him there. Andrews or Kmet?
I'm going to start Mark Andrews.
Yeah?
This is my last week. This is it. I'm going to give him one more week. So
Kmet, I'm sticking. We're standing back on that business. Sit Andrews, Tyreek Hill to the moon. Jay, Akers or Najee? Najee.
What are
you talking about?
Najee's scoring. He's scoring.
Yeah, he is scoring. I was going to put him in a
freaking better score.
Adunze or Alan Lazard?
Adunze.
Lazard. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Adunze here. I don't feel confident about it. Ooh, I love this one. Dortch or Robinson? Dortch. I'm going Dortch. I love Dortch this week. I got prop on Dortch.
I'm not overly bullish on either guy, so I can go Dortch too. Make it easy for him.
I just could like bully you into it. All right, sweet.
That's fine. I mean, I'm not here to be like, you have to start DeMarcus Robinson or you're an idiot.
You don't have to start Dortch. It's just worst secondary in the NFL in Washington. Marvin Harrison will get whatever version of their extra coverage is. So. Yeah, no Trey McBride. Exactly. This is Greg Dortch. Greg Dortch's reception prop is still sitting at 3.5. Get out of here. Just take it. Olave or Sutton?
I'm not playing Sutton against the Jets. I'm sorry. I'm just not doing it.
It's Olave. Come on. It's Olave. Don't worry about it. Rome or Addison?
Ooh, Jordan Addison is sneaky today. I like Jordan Addison.
He is. Yeah. He's not so much sneaky. It just like,
I don't know. I feel like he's low. He's low in ECR. I thought he was like outside the top 50.
Well, because I think people were questionable about like if he was going to end up starting.
Well,
and he is.
They got up. Well, he's been healthy since Friday. We're good to go.
Green Bay. Blanket coverage on Jefferson. Addison.
I mean, we're seeing Jalen Naylor go off as the number 2 receiver. Why can't that be Addison today? So Addison for me.
100%. Oh, how about Addison or Pittman?
Addison. Pittman is. So
could we find a wide receiver that we would start? Greg Dortch or Michael Pittman?
I think I'd start Pittman. Honestly, no. I'd probably just start Dortch because I think he has more upside. He's playing the Commanders. Like,
love it. All right, let's do 2 more, and then we're gonna hand it off to our crew here. Let's go Roshan or Swift.
Roshan.
Okay. We're just all on that. All right. These are like the same questions. I want to get like a new one. How about no, let's just do this one. Let's do this for funsies. Pittman or Mooney? PPR.
Mooney.
Let's perfect way to end it. Mooney over Pittman. We're just done with it. All right. Friends, that is going to do it for hour one, but you don't go anywhere because yes, Andrew Erickson and I, we will leave like Peanut Butter and Jelly does or the Big Show. Joe, I just got to tell you, just prepare for this. He didn't know first what Tommy Want Wingy was. He didn't understand. He didn't know who Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, X-Pac were. Then I threw the Big Show and Rey Mysterio as trade partners. He knew none of this. This is what we're dealing with. So we had to settle. Joe, we weren't a wrestling tag team. Andrew said we're Peanut Butter and Jelly. So that's what, instead of a tag team, we're Peanut Butter and Jelly, ladies and gentlemen. So Peanut Butter and Jelly is going to scoot out here. We've got the great Joe Pisapia. We got Tom Strachen in the house. Both of these dudes are going to take you for the entire second hour. You guys are going to get injury updates that are coming in live. Load up those trade questions because we got tons more. Thank you to Seth for the ones and twos. Erickson, love you, brother. Erickson, Andrew Erickson _ You can find me at Is It the Welsh. Let's take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Hour two's coming up. Joe and Tom, let's do it.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're all passionate about fantasy football, obviously. But sometimes there is a little bit missing. What's missing? A team. But not your fantasy team. No, a team of like-minded, passionate fantasy football fans. And if that is not part of your everyday, Fantasy Pros Discord might be your answer. Chat with other fans, debate strategies, and find leagues to join. Every week, get your questions answered live in our AMA live Discord sessions. Want to know if you should start that sleeper or avoid a risky trade? Our experts, they're here to help. And if you got a question, you might even end up on a podcast. It's not just about advice, though. It's about community, with channels for every aspect of fantasy football, draft advice, waivers, props to dynasty, best ball, and a ton more. You're going to find like-minded fans just like you. So join the best fantasy team. Join Fantasy Pros on Discord at fantasypros.com/chat today. Get your questions answered and connect with fans. Don't just play fantasy football, live it with Fantasy Pros on Discord.
Have you ever felt like you're just guessing when you're placing a bet? Have you ever felt like you're just guessing when you're placing a bet? Look, we've all been there, hoping for that big win, but lacking the confidence to back our picks. Well, what if I told you that you could turn those hunches into winning strategies? Betting Pros will transform you from the casual bettor into a betting pro. First up, meet the Prop Bet Cheat Sheet and Prop Bet Analyzer. Sync your fantasy league with Betting Pros by signing into your Fantasy Pros account and review your players' weekly props with all the historical data right at your fingertips, and you'll be able to make confident over-under decisions. You'll be ready to dominate all those prize picks and underdog pick'em leagues with our exclusive prop projections and correlated picks that will empower you to build data-driven pick'em parlays. Say goodbye to the guesswork and hello to strategic betting. And if you have a gut feeling about a player or a team's performance, with our betting systems and our system builder, you can turn that intuition into a profitable system. Create your own betting system for free and receive ongoing bets that match your criteria all season long. This all sounds great, right? The best part, though, is that you can get a free trial of Betting Pros Premium right now. If you've never had Betting Pros Premium, just head over to bettingpros.com/apps and download the Betting Pros sports betting app and activate your free trial on the upgrade screen. Start your journey to becoming a true betting pro today. What's up, everybody? It's me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and with me, we're releasing the Strachen. That's right, Joey P and Tom here to take your questions for the next, I don't know, about an hour or so. So load them up, everybody, because now's the time before week 4 officially kicks off on Sunday. Tom, I don't know if we've ever really done a show together, so this is nice.
It is, yeah. I was just thinking before we came on, I think I've pretty much done a show with just about everyone else, so nice to finally get on board with yourself, Joe.
That's right. I'm the final boss around here, Tom. That's how it works. So if you want to get in on some fun stuff too, we've got a lot of things going on here on the channel, including our latest giveaway from Trophy Smack. Don't forget, everybody, the Stunner Ring can be yours. We're teaming up with Trophy Smack to give away this flashy Stunner Ring and a personalized display case to go along with it. Show off your championship victory in style with the blinged out Stunner Ring from Trophy Smack. You can take it to the next level by designing your own display case complete with a custom commemorative plaque. Hopefully it's just a bust of me. That's what I would suggest. Otherwise, All you have to do to enter is just subscribe to Fantasy Bros YouTube channel. So do that right now. Drop a comment below on any video, and that's it. And we'll announce the winner right here on the channel. So make sure you ring that bell for notifications so you know when new videos are up and if you are the big winner. Tom, it's time to get to the questions. Are you ready, my friend, to help everybody win in week 4?
Let's do it, man. Time difference on my side. I've been up there like 8, 9, 10 hours already. I've just been prepping for this, so let's go.
There you go. I've been up for 5 hours already, so that's about it. I have an early start on Sundays. Let's go to Trey Davidson. Would you start Pittman, Sutton, or Shaheed?
I mean, I don't really want to start Sutton at all. I think he's really struggling for any fantasy viability. Shaheed feels like a fairly good play given everything that's going on. So I think it's going to be Shaheed just slightly over Pittman, and then Sutton isn't even on the radar for me.
I would agree. Let's go to Chris H. It's the Rashid Shaheed hour, folks. Rashid Shaheed or Addison in the flex?
Yeah, that's Shaheed for me. Just I think Addison's got a good matchup, Andrew and Welsh were talking about it, but like players coming off injury, I'm just going to lean towards Shaheed.
All right, drop your questions, everybody. Let's go. Jesse Garcia, Amari Cooper, or London in the PPR. Now, look, a little different look here for the Raiders. No Max Crosby in this one today, so the pass rush isn't quite the same. With Drake London, again, certainly in theory, a huge game here today in division matchup with New Orleans. So London seems like the safer play. Cooper is all up and down. Which way you want to go?
Yeah, I'm going Drake London. I'm a bit of a Drake London slappy, but like there's so many advanced stats that kind of point towards the breakout. It's coming, and I feel like today's going to be a very good day for him.
I like this term, slappy. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
I've never heard that one. So this is the British version of Stan. Is that what's happening?
I mean, we definitely say Stan, but slappy, I feel like I've heard about.
I like slappy way better.
Yeah,
I'm rolling with that for the rest of the season. That's my go-to now. Larry Stone Cold, Mike Gesicki, or Isaiah Likely?
Oh man, I've got these two pretty close in my rankings. I think like the Bills, some of what they give up is a lot of slot receptions, and Likely could definitely cycle in there plenty. But I think I'd probably just I've got Gesicki ranked as my 11th tight end, and then Likely at 12. So coin flip it, but I'd slightly into Gesicki.
Next is Miguel's question: in full PPR, Reed or Shakir? I know my answer. It's Reed with Love back. I know the defense is really good with Minnesota. I get that, but Reed just has so much more upside to me than Shakir.
Yeah, I agree completely, Weaver.
All right, that's an easy one. Good. I like the easy questions. Let's go to JP 27 Hude. Richardson or Fields? I know my answer, Tom. What's yours?
It's got to be Justin Fields, I think, against this defense. And I hate saying that, but yeah, Anthony Richardson's barely a QB1 for me at the moment.
Look, I mean, Fields is the top 10 QB this week. In DFS, he's super cheap. Him and Pickens, and Harris, citing where you want to stack that up there against that Indy defense, which is not good. I'd be doing it, especially with Jalen Warren out too. I mean, that's a really you kind of know where the ball's going. It's really safe there. I love that, but I'm in here with Fields too. Question, Tom, because I just made this deal. What side do you want to be on in Dynasty? Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields?
Oh, it's got to be Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Trevor Lawrence got the contract. I mean, I can definitely understand the upside play on Fields, but if he keeps playing like this, he's going to get a contract and secure a starting role next year. But Trevor Lawrence, it just feels perpetually like coaching and really poor offensive line play. And I thought that the offensive line play would be fixed this year, and it absolutely hasn't been, and it hurts me on a deep level.
Here, I want to depress you further. Trevor Lawrence and Daniel Jones. You ready for this? Career games, 53 for Lawrence, 64 for Daniel Jones. Completion percentage, 63% for Lawrence, 64% for Jones. QB rating, 84.5 for Trevor Lawrence, 84.9 for Daniel Jones. Touchdowns, 60 for Lawrence, 66 for Daniel Jones. Interceptions, 40 for Trevor Lawrence, 43 for Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean,
the coaching, is that all it is?
I don't think it's all coaching, but I think if we could swap their coaching situations around, and if you put Andrew Thomas with Trevor Lawrence, then life would get a lot better for him.
Maybe. All right, let's go to Alan's question. Juwan Jennings or Michael Pittman? I'm Team Jennings here. How about you?
So, I mean, I was very wrong on Juwan Jennings last week, and I'm kind of glad I wasn't on with Welsh this week because I would have just had to start with a bag of shame over my head. But I think with Debo and Kittle back, I just lean towards Michael Pittman. I think I've got him about 5 spots separated in my wide receiver rankings.
I'm going with Juwan Jennings here for sure. And I was Team Jennings with Welsh, so You're lucky I'm just finding out about this now. Ben Heath, full PPR, Rashid Shaheed or Waddle?
Yeah, I mean, I think Snoop's going to do a better job of getting the ball to Miami receivers. He's a bit of a dink and dunker, but I do think that that's going to be Shaheed still. Are you Waddle or kind of with me on
I
Shaheed?
think Shaheed right now is the safer play because you don't know what Huntley and Waddle is, right?
Yeah.
And Huntley and Waddle could be good in the weeks to come, but I think right now you kind of take what you know. However, I am cautiously optimistic with this move to Huntley that Huntley can revive. I'd be buying Waddle and Hill all over the
Yeah.
place this morning, wherever I could, to be honest.
Yeah, and
That's
the other
where I'm
thing there is like the Titans defense, like last year, you could pass all over them and barely run the ball on them. And that's flipped this year. So far, what we're seeing is that they're a good pass defense and a poor run defense at times. So like just not one I'd want to play this week.
Let's go to Elton's Robinson Jr. or Ford. You want B-Rob or you want Jerome Ford in that lineup?
That's Brian Robinson Jr. by a mile. I think like
Agreed.
Ford, like he seems to see less snaps when the Browns are in neutral game script. We saw Donta Foreman have that big game against against the Jags a couple of weeks ago, and it just feels like against the Raiders maybe win for more of that.
Nick Chubb apparently is supposed to start practicing next week too. So
Yeah.
take that with whatever grain of salt you want to, folks. John Smith, full PPR, Caleb or Gino? It's Gino for me, dog. I like this game against the Lions. They got something to prove. I think it's got a nice total. I just don't trust Caleb Williams, even if he gets Keenan Allen back. I don't care. What do you think?
Yeah, I think like Caleb Williams in DFS this week is a bit of a sneaky play, and I've got one lineup with him double stacked. But like when it comes to redraft,
Really?
I'm all about Geno Smith. He's my QB 11.
Why sell me on that? Why the Caleb Williams in DFS this week? What do you see there?
So, I mean, obviously, we're not going to see this like Caleb Williams that we thought we were getting and all that. But like the idea that Caleb Williams is awful is perhaps getting a little overblown. Keenan Allen being back should hopefully calm things down for him a bit more. And the Rams defense is just woeful, isn't it? Like, you know, they're bottom 5 in success rate against both the pass and the run. And I think that this is kind of potentially one of those kind of get right spots for the Bears. Just not with DeAndre Swift.
Fair enough. Yeah, certainly not with Swift, that's for sure. All right, let's go on to some more questions here. Let's get to Doug's question. Doug wants to know JSN or Kirk in the PPR.
Man, I love JSN. I was very high on him last week and it didn't work out, but the Lions absolutely they hemorrhage targets to the slot. So very much in on JSN.
Samesies. There we go. 2 for 2. Let's go to Gasol, Bucky, or Rome.
I think I'd probably go Rome there, but that's not a fun one. Like, where are you at on that?
I'd go Rome as well. And no, it's not fun. Let's see if Abby's got a fun question. Full PPR, Cooper or Shakir? This is where I go back to the Amari Cooper well, and I hope that I get. Is it too much to ask for 2 straight good weeks for Amari Cooper? It might be, but you know the Bills. This is again a real test for the Bills. A huge game for the Ravens, coming off a big victory. I think the Bills have done really well so far, but again, the matchups haven't been quite what they're going to see against Baltimore. So I'm not ready to anoint the Buffalo Bills quite yet. So I'm going to go with Cooper here for the big upside. Where are you going?
Yeah, I'm going to Amari Cooper. And it's just that thing with the Bills offense. They spread the ball around so much. And I know Shakir's caught like every single target that's gone his way. But like you say, it's definitely a different matchup.
I'm glad we color coordinated too today. I think it was very important that we do that for the show. Let's go to Daniel's question. Chris Olave or McLaurin? I don't like the game time decision, guys, and I know he's in. It just has me a little concerned. So I would lean Terry McLaurin after what I saw last week. I kind of predicted we'd get this, but I thought it was going to be we're behind, so let's just sling the ball. That was not the case. They came out guns blazing, and I think that bodes even better for the rest of the season for McLaurin. So I'm feeling really good about that. Where are you at with these two today?
Yeah, definitely. And Olave, it's not even just his own injuries. It's the fact that the offensive line's so banged up that like 2 of their best starters there aren't going to be playing. So I lean to McLaurin by about 3 or 4 spots in my rankings.
Henry Wilcox, Adunze or Myers in the PPR?
I think that's a Dunze. I'm just not really feeling Jacoby Myers at the minute. Like even with Devontae Adams out, are you high on Jacoby Myers? It just feels like
I'm not high on either. But in the full PPR, I think that Myers is one of these guys who can just be a target hog, get you like 7 for 75, and I think I take the 15 points and get out of Dodge. Like I just kind of do that. Whereas Rome's variables, I think, are much higher and lower. I think I just take what I know with Myers, and it doesn't matter if it's O'Connell or Minshew. They're literally the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other. Like, I don't care who it is. It doesn't make a difference to me. So
Yeah.
I'd lean Myers, but I don't think Odunze's a bad start. If you lose on this, then it wasn't meant to be. Chubbs, would you start Mooney or Myers? There we go. More Myers questions here.
I think that's about the kind of similar range where I've got him, but my lean is toward Mooney. I think I'm just quite high on the Falcons offense this week.
Yeah, I'm going with Mooney too. 8 catches on 8 targets last week, plus better quarterback play. Give me the better quarterback. When you have 2 wide receivers in that same vein, I'll go to the better QB and hope for the best. Bucky Irving or Braylon Allen from Jeff V. I know my answer, Tommy boy. Give me yours.
I'm going Bucky Irving, and it's like the Rashad White food poisoning, but suddenly he's better play. Like, that's one of those where, okay, you might be feeling all right, but you get out there and so all of a sudden stomach starts cramping up again. It's time to get out of Dodge.
I'm really intrigued by Braylon Allen this week, specifically because of the matchup against Denver.
Yeah.
22nd against the run. Garrett Wilson probably going to the shadow realm. Heavy on the RBs this week in the Jets offense. I think Braylon Allen's a DFS guy that I do like this week. I like the overs on a lot of his totals too because they're low. But I get the Bucky Irving. I totally get it. But because he wasn't 100% healthy, I think I'm just going to go with the healthy guy in the match. I'm going to take Braylon Allen. But again, super close here. So this is a good question.
Yeah. And I will say, I'll just add to that. Like, when I was building out my DFS lineups this week, a lot of optimizers would try to force Breece Hall into them, but I locked Breece Hall out of them because I just don't feel like he's got enough of a touch on that I want to pay up for him.
My only problem with Allen is that he's so close in price to Najee Harris without Warren this week.
Yeah.
So that's why I ended up pivoting off at the very end, but same concept there. Want to just get the best guy and you can. Rogers question, Debo or Deontay Johnson in the full point PPR. What a difference a week makes, Tom.
I mean, like, I love Debo. Debo, for me, is somebody I've been aggressive on in fantasy all year. But for me, Debo is a low-end wide receiver 2, whereas Deontay is a high-end wide receiver 2 at the minute. I think with Adam Thielen on IR against this Bengals defense, it's awful. Like, it's Deontay.
Apparently, fun facts from Mike Mayer, somebody I never equate fun with. That word and Mike Mayer typically don't go together. Mayer says, fun fact, Jacoby Myers was actually the most added player in FantasyPros synced leagues this week, which, by the way, you should sync your leagues. That's the smartest thing you possibly can do with my playbook. And you know what else you should do? You should use the tools over at FantasyPros because we've got the best ones, including the Start Sit Assistant, which will help you get the right players in, and autopilot. If you're on the run, you got a lot going on. You got the kids' game. You got Sunday lawn chores you got to do, whatever it might be. Set it and forget it with autopilot, just one of the many features at My Playbook. Sync your leagues for free. Go to My Playbook. Again, you can download the app or just go to fantasypros.com/myplaybook. You'll get instant email notifications whenever a change is made. So if you're waiting to that last minute, you can't wait anymore to see if somebody's in or out. Don't worry. We got you, boo. My Playbook is the greatest suite of tools ever, and we will help you win that championship. All right, let's get back to the questions here. Let's go with Kalen. Addison or Ridley? This is from Kalen.
I think I lean slightly towards Addison there. Like, it seemed like Ridley's role dropped a little with D-Hop kind of ramping up last week. Are you Ridley over Addison?
No, I think Addison always has that touchdown equity. He's that guy in that offense, or he has been. Now, the only thing is, too, just the sample size with Darnold is interesting because Naylor's kind of been that touchdown dude for him whenever Jefferson is locked up. And Alexander's going to lock Jefferson up, at least to the best of his abilities. You're not sitting Justin Jefferson today, but I'd probably, again, I'm going to lean towards the better offense here as opposed to Will Levis, which,
exactly.
Levis.
Yeah.
My boy Dominic, Joey Pisapia, and T Money, Gino or Purdy this week. Which way you going, Tommy boy?
Let me just double check. I think this is Gino for me, but I could probably do a bump in Brock Purdy. I'm just a little concerned that the New England game isn't going to push things as much as Seattle-Detroit does. So yeah,
Agreed.
I'd probably still go Gino.
Ditto for me, man. Ditto for me. Pickles and puzzles. I love, actually, 2 things I hate, to be honest with you. I was gonna say I don't like pickles.
I'm down with both.
You're down with both? Pickles and puzzles. I hate puzzles.
That sounds like a great afternoon.
Ugh, gross. Puzzles take forever.
What about a puzzle of pickles?
Oh, just Just burn it. Just set it on the table. Just burn it. McLaurin or Jaden Reed. Now, this is a toughie right here. I'd like to start both these guys, to be honest, Pickles.
Yeah, I'd like to start both of them too. I've got Jaden Reed at wide receiver 20 and McLaurin at wide receiver 22, so barely anything separating them. I'd just lean towards Jaden Reed for the amount of design plays he gets.
Yeah, take that pickle off my plate. Take it off my burger. Get it out. Chris, PPR, Shaheed, Pollard, or McLaurin?
I think that's going to be McLaurin for me.
McLaurin for you, I would agree. Give me Terry McLaurin. I wonder what Seth thinks about it. Seth, thumbs up or thumbs down, our producer Seth, about puzzles. You like puzzles, Seth? Thumbs up or thumbs down? There you go. What about pickles, Seth? Thumbs up or thumbs down on pick? So he is a split decision there. So Seth is the perfect go-between. He's pro pickles, anti puzzles. There you go. Let's go with Diener, Mooney, or JSN. Ooh, this is a tough one for you, isn't it?
No, this is JSN by probably
JSN?
12 spots or so.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, there you go. Robin, Van Essen, Leggett, or Irving. This is where I play Irving. I don't trust Leggett.
Yeah, I think Leggett possibly has a higher ceiling there, but like his role's still so undefined.
Undefined, not good. Ashen, full PPR, Dobbins or Stevenson?
Man, like the way to get at the Chiefs definitely still seems to be through the running back game, but like I just don't know if the Chargers are going to stay neutral enough for Dobbins to do that. Whereas like the Patriots, they've just shown that they just don't care what the score is. They'll keep feeding running back. So yeah, it's Ramondre for me.
It's Ramondre for me. I think the other reason too is the missing tackles for the Chargers. You're playing with backup offensive lines. Stuff does not look good. Potential for a negative game script there, not good. Potential for a quarterback getting hurt, high with those missing tackles. Like it's just this is your point. This might be the peak J.K. Dobbins sell. If you're somebody that has a lot of RB depth and you just happen to pick up Dobbins early and whatever, like this is your moment to move him. And like Dobbins for Waddle right now, you could probably pull that off in a second. Give me Waddle rest of season. Victor Young, Dalton Schultz, or Taysom Hill. Yikes.
Man, I think I've got to lean towards Dalton Schultz. Without Tank Dell, I think, and Brevin Jordan's now on IR, which means that Dalton Schultz should be running even more routes. But yeah, if ever Taysom Hill was going to have a blow-up week, it would make sense that it was this one, but I'd still lean with Dalton Schultz in redraft formats.
Let's take Eric's question here. Chuba Hubbard or ATN in the full PPR? I'm still going ATN here.
Yeah, I'm going ATN as well there, yeah.
He's just an RB2, and that's just fine. Like it's not special. It just is what it is. Chris Hing, Swift or Charbonnet? Yikes.
Man, that is brutal.
C? Chris, is there a C? Because there better be.
That is that is really difficult. Like I've got DeAndre Swift as my running back 43 and Zach Charbonnet running back 46. The Lions are so good. Yeah, I mean the Lions are so good against the running backs, but I don't want to play either of these guys. But geez, probably Swift because the Rams are awful
Walker
against the running backs.
I mean, you just don't know. I mean, yeah. Oh, God. All right, let's go to the finisher. Michael Wilson or Keenan Allen, PPR?
That's Keenan Allen for me. I mean, like I get it coming off the injury and that, but like let's not overthink that one.
Yeah, that's a little much. Al, what about Dortch or him? If it was Dortch or Keenan Allen, which way would you go?
I think I'm still
that one gives
Keenan
me
Allen.
pause. I would still go Allen, but it gave me pause too, where I was like, I wonder. Alan Sanchez, Zach Moss, or Travis Etienne?
That's Etienne for me. I think like the danger with the Bengals is that they get up to an early lead and then choose to get Chase Brown more involved. Whereas like Etienne, Tank Bigsby, he's still mixing in, but not really consistently. And I don't think they're trying as hard.
Justin Jimenez, Connor or Godwin in the full PPR? I'm going Godwin all the way.
Yeah, Godwin all the way for me as well.
Got 3 straight games with a touchdown, playing out that slot against the Eagles. Let's go. Let's do another one here. Joe Baller, Braylon or Pittman? PPR.
like if we'd had this question if we told ourselves in the offseason we were going to be asking this question, we'd assume that Breece Hall was completely cooked. But
right. Well, who has more touchdown equity today? Let's be honest.
I mean, it's probably Braylon, yeah. But I think if I was setting my own lineup, I'd probably end up going with Michael Pittman, but I wouldn't feel particularly good about it. Are you Braylon Allen there? I know you're Braylon Allen slappy.
I might get in slap happy. I might be there. I might get in closer and closer. Pittman, again, if this was just like some run of the mill defense today, I'd probably just say Pittman, and I say, look, let's not get cute. But it's against the Steelers, and I think I might want to get cute here. Like these two like normally I always just go talent.
Yeah.
But at a certain point where you have to look at these matchups and you have to say, man, things have not gone well for the Colts. Steelers defense is really good. Like maybe Indianapolis shows up, maybe Richardson makes that play, but man, against that Pittsburgh defense, it's a little bit tougher. It's not like you're going against like the Jacksonville defense or something like that, So
yeah,
I would also look at what my rest of my lineup was. And if I had everything else looked good, I think I would just play the touches of Braylon Allen.
I think like it kind of comes down to how Pittsburgh play it, because if they put Joey Porter Jr. on Pittman, then it's going to be really difficult for him to have a good day.
I think that's exactly what you're going to get today for the most part. So,
but if they try and take away the deep shots, then you're looking at guys like
I don't do
Alec
that.
Pierce, Josh Downs.
If I'm Pittsburgh, I take away the number one guy. Let Josh Downs beat you. If Josh Downs beats you once, you'll live with it. That's fine. But he might not have time to make that throw because TJ Watt is getting after him. Like that's the thing. Your pass rush is so good. Make him beat you deep. Don't let him get rid of the football quickly. That's how I would look at it. Madeline's question here. Flex Josh Jacobs or Terry McLaurin in the full point PPR. I'm going TMC here.
Yeah, I go TMC as well. I think I wouldn't be surprised if, like Josh Jacobs, his touches just have been so unpredictable that if I've got a really nice matchup, I'm moving away from it to take that.
All right, let's talk about Game Blazers for a moment, please, if we may, because Game Blazers is changing daily fantasy sports. The roster building process has been gamified. Gone are the days of the salary cap DFS. Now you build your lineup by opening packs of player cards, creating a stable of players with true ownership of your fantasy roster. Some players are even permanent. That means forever for those of you without the dictionary close. Every pack contains enough players to form a roster, collect as many packs as you want to increase your available player pool. Game Blazers combines the skill-based contest of DFS with the excitement, fun, and strategy of Dynasty League or Madden Ultimate Team. It sounds like a pretty good time. Every first-time user on Game Blazers can claim a free starter pack to get right into the game. Game Blazers is available for free right now for real money contests, including weekly free rolls with thousands in cash prizes. This is fantasy football revolutionized. Rip packs, build lineups, win cash. Join 13,000 players who have already won over $100,000. Check out Game Blazers right after the show using the link in our description. All right, that sounds pretty fun right there. I want to rip some packs. Maybe I'll get a Tom Strachen rookie card. That'd be nice. I could get one of those. What's that worth? And did it have a beard even when it was a rookie? That's the question.
I mean, this chin has been hairy since I was 16. So yeah,
there you go. That's what I thought. There you go. Kai Shore, Dobbins or Pollard in the half.
Yeah, I quite like Pollard this week against Miami. They've been pretty weak on defense, and I've got Dobbins. Yeah, like you say, because of the tackles, I've docked him just outside that RB2 range.
Agreed. Ryan, Akers or Michael Wilson?
I'm going Akers there. I think, projectable volume. Michael Wilson's obviously got upside, but we just haven't really seen it yet, whilst Marvin Harrison's been out there as well.
Yeah, take what you get. Let's go to Bolanista, Khalil Shakir, or Deontay Johnson. I'm going Deontay here. This is where I like Deontay.
Yeah, definitely Deontay.
Next is Shane, Fields or Hurts?
Oh, man, that's still got to be Jalen.
It's not get crazy.
Yeah.
Now, there's a world where Fields is ahead of him today. Like, that's not impossible without missing the weapons. I get the question, but I still play Hurts.
Yeah, because I mean, even if we take this on a per player basis, I'd still take Jalen Hurts throwing to Dallas Goedert over Justin Fields throwing to George Pickens, and then whatever else comes. And you can tell yourself a story that without AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, it just pushes Jalen Hurts to run even more.
I think we get 70 yards rushing from Fields today and 200 yards passing. Let's go. That's the bold prediction. I need it. Let's go to Tristan W. Evans or Ayuk in the PPR.
I'm going Mike Evans. I do really like Brandon Ayuk, but the return of Debo and Kittle just makes it that little bit harder for him.
Next up is Wave Assembly, Brian Thomas Jr. or Debo in the full PPR. I gotta go Debo.
Yeah, definitely.
I get it, but I go Debo. Alejandro, half PPR, Mooney or Pollard?
That's Pollard for me. Yeah, definitely a good bit of distance between two of them.
Old Head Sports. Sounds like me and Tom. J-Mo or Addison?
I think I'd be J-Mo there. Yeah, I think it is going to be quite variable at times, and sooner or later Sam Laporta is going to get back into the games. But yeah, definitely J-Mo.
Yeah, it's going to become later and later. Speaking of Laporta, GZB, full PPR, Komet or Laporta? It's got to be Laporta.
It's got to be Laporta, yeah.
I do not trust the Bears. My
Or
trust level in
Shane
the
Waldron.
Bears
No.
is very low. Monk Broads, Bucky Irving or Carson Steele in the full PPR.
I think I'm going Steele there. I like the idea that the Chiefs could run this one up and, just choose to give him touches over Kareem Hunt coming in off the street and Samaje P. Ryan, who's got that kind of more third down profile.
I'm predicting this is the make or break game for Travis Kelce. He either goes off against the Chargers, who historically he has kicked the crap out of.
So much, yeah.
Or this is it. Like, then we can start talking about it's over, it's done. Like, if it's not now, it ain't happening. Like, it's just, this is the fork in the road, Travi. It's the fork in the road. I'm betting on you bouncing back.
I can't believe Patrick Mahomes wants to take more questions about whether Travis Kelce still has it. Like, it's going to happen.
Look, he's 35. He's not going to be the same player he was 5 years ago. But like, to say he's completely done this early, I think is early. Like, I want to give it a little bit more time. LaDonche Tay Johnson, Rome or Tutu Atwell?
I think I'm going Rome, and it's mainly because the Bears defense is probably better than the Rams defenses.
Agreed. Let's go to Marlon's question. Jaden Daniels or Kyler Murray, PPR, facing off against each other.
Kyler Murray's my QB1 this week, so it'd be him. But Jaden Daniels is my QB4. So what are we talking about here? Like, that's a great situation to be in. I don't think there's a wrong answer. But
trade one.
The Washington defense against the pass is so bad that I just have to lean to Kyler Murray.
Crusher, Shakir, Flowers, or BTJ?
I mean, I'm going Flowers there. I am a Ravens homer, but I do have Flowers probably 7 or 8 spots ahead of Shakir.
I didn't realize you were a Ravens guy. I'm learning so many things today, Tom. In our short half hour of working together.
It's all there.
Oh, I see it now. There it is. Let's go to Ricketang, Andrews or Fryermuth. There we go. It's come to this.
So I'm going Andrews, and I've been kind of hoping we'd get some Andrews questions because I'm willing to say it is going to be Mark Andrews bounce back week this week. Like, I mentioned it earlier on, but the Bills, they really struggle against the slot. That's somewhere which Mark Andrews, weeks 1 and 2, led the Ravens in slot snaps. Week 3 obviously didn't play out, but I think that he can absolutely get back on track, much like Travis Kelce here.
Andrews and Kelce, could you imagine both of them being good in the same week? My God, what a time to be alive. Audrey's question. I know. Shakir or T. Higgins? That's where Audrey's at right now.
I like T. Higgins. I mean, he almost had a really good week last week, but like the touchdown was just a little too high, another long pass that didn't quite land. So yeah, I'm T. Higgins and think that he'll be useful. Dan
Brand, Baker Mayfield or Justin Fields? It's Fields for me.
Yeah, it's got to be Fields.
Good matchup for him. Kendrick Hayes, Debo or Higgins?
Ooh, let me just check that one. I think I've got Debo wide receiver 25 and Higgins at wide receiver 24. So
whoa, wow.
Yeah, slight lean towards T. Higgins, probably because that game's got the higher over-under, so you'd expect more points there.
That's fair. Sim, PPR, Kirk or Ridley?
I think I'm going Christian Kirk here. Yeah,
I mean,
just feels...
things like because they're both the same. It's like you can't count either one,
But you look at when things have worked out for Trevor Lawrence, and it's normally when he's peppering Christian Kirk with targets. It's like when he's trying to force other stuff, things seem to go a little worse.
It's just not going well for the Jaguars. They're going to have a new coach next year. It's happening. T. Summers is probably going to be Bill Belichick. T. Summers, Carr or Darnold?
I'm going Darnold with the offensive line injuries to the Saints. It just doesn't feel particularly great. And whereas Darnold, you know what you're getting. He's going to give you sort of 200 yards, a couple of touchdowns a week.
How about Rob, Purdy or Darnold?
I think, again, I'd just go Darnold. Just a little more faith in that matchup, you?
Amazing. Yeah, I'm so pro Sam Darnold. I think they're going to win this week. And when they go in to play the Jets next week too. Oh, sign me up for that. I want to drink all the tears of Jet fans watching Sam Darnold beat Aaron Rodgers in MetLife. You know what? I haven't been to a game in a while. That might be one I might want to find a ticket to somehow. Like, I might have to be there to experience that pain in person. Kyle Curry, Hurts or Daniels?
That's Jaden Daniels for me. But again, these are rich people problems. These
Trade one. Trade one. You don't. I mean, it's just it's every week. Both these guys are startable. Find somebody who's got QB problems and figure it out. Here's some actives too. We can roll through as trying to get you updated right now. We have active Vita Vea, Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, all the running backs, Irving and White in Tampa, Keenan Allen, Jordan Love, inactive Jair Alexander.
Ooh,
that is one. Yeah, thank goodness I already bet the Minnesota Vikings. Now it's Joe Mixon, Lane Johnson, CJ Mosley, all inactive there. So some big defensive pieces missing a little bit there. Let's go to Reviky's question: Ayuk or McLaurin? So that's TMC for me.
That's Ayuk for me. I've got a few spots between them. Like Ayuk crushes against man. The game's against zone. When they come against zone defense, that's Debo. Patriots play a lot of man. So let's say Ayuk gets back on track.
Josh Nelson, Aaron Jones, or Connor?
I've got these two really close in my rankings, but yeah, I just lean towards Aaron Jones in the revenge game narrative.
Yes, boy, so much revenge. Jones revenge, Darnold revenge next week. It's the revenge tour of the Minnesota Vikings who've been scorned by the rest of the league. VR, full PPR, Flex Johnston, Adunze, Roshan, or Rashad White. I feel like there's no good answer here.
Yeah, this is one which, in about 2 hours' time, you're going to feel pretty annoyed about, but maybe
who has the most touchdown equity? I think that's what you look for here.
I think, I am probably going towards Rashad White.
I would roll the dice here with Quentin Johnston, just because I think they're going to be behind. And of all the guys I hear on this list, I think he has the most touchdown equity. Now, here's my worst nightmare is that Roshan gets the backfield today and actually plays really well. That is in the range of outcomes, as Derek Brown likes to say, but you can't bank on that quite yet. He's just not there yet. Maybe next week. We got that one already. Let's get another one here. Andres Ruiz, Worthy or Addison?
Ooh, I think I'm Xavier Worthy there.
Agreed.
Like these kind of divisional games feels like the ones where Andy Reid likes to pull something out of the hat and throw some at the Chargers to just make them feel even more pain.
Army of one, Richardson or Dalton? Yikes.
It's got to be Richardson for me.
That's going to be really depressing if Andy Dalton outscores Richardson, which is, again,
yep.
I'm not going to bro that question. Sometimes I bro people because they ask stupid questions. I understand. I get it. I understand your pain. Tyler, Aaron Jones or Stephon Diggs in the flex. Now with Tank Dell out in the full PPR, is Stephon Diggs worthy in this conversation or is it still just Jones for the volume and the touches?
I think I'm going Jones. Yeah, I really like Aaron Jones, but I definitely would understand if somebody wanted to go Diggs there. But yeah, if it was Aaron Jones versus Nico, it'd be a much more complicated question, but Aaron Jones.
T. Higgins or Olave? This is from Patrick Mills.
T. Higgins, type of guy who got through a game healthy last week and looked all right over a guy who is very banged up.
Mm-hmm. Christian Kirk or Keenan Allen, full PPR?
It's Keenan Allen for me.
Keenan Allen. Let's go to John's question here. Minnesota D or 49ers D? I don't think you can go wrong here, to be honest, but I mean, the Patriots are so bad. I think you just got to play the 49ers D.
I think in the ECR, the Niners are the top-ranked defense this week, so I'd go with that.
I have Minnesota in that conference. Like, I know Jordan Love's really good. I get it, but that Minnesota defense has been terrific so far.
Yeah, I was really wrong about them. I thought that like the old guys they had there, they were going to be a little bit past it, but they just look brilliant. Like I saw an article this morning from Dan Rossini saying that they credit the intelligence of the defense for being able to implement what they're doing.
That's what we get to. We get the same review. It's the intelligence. My people keep coming back here. Seth McBuckets, Olave, JSN, or Jaden Reed, full PPR. Where do you go?
I'm going JSN.
All right, JSN for Tom. Let's go to KCDC, full PPR, Jacobs or Reed?
Let me just double check that one. Yeah, I'm going Reed there.
I agree. I think he's got a lot of upside. Let's go to Merchant, D-Hop, or Judy in the PPR. Gross.
That's not a fun one. Let me just check that one because I feel like I've got to go with that. Yeah, so I got Hopkins at wide receiver 38 and then Jerry Jeudy at wide receiver 40. I think that I'd probably be leaning towards DeAndre Hopkins because the Miami defense just doesn't look great. I mean, even Jalen Ramsey hasn't looked incredible these first few weeks.
I would go with Hopkins too. Classic. Mooney or Quentin in the half PPR. It's Mooney for me. It's not close today.
Yeah, definitely Mooney.
Next is McChronics, Chuba Hubbard, or Jaden Reed in the full PPR.
Although
you made a new player here with a Jalen Reed who is not an option. So
Yeah,
if it's Jaden Reed, then yes, play him. Let's go to Jeff's question here. Dallas Goddard or Kelsey, Higgins or McLaurin. Now, look, this one I get too. I mean, the volume for Goddard should be off the chart today. So you want to just take that?
Yeah, I'd be good with that. I mean, when you look at what the Bucs have done against the tight end position so far this year, they've been okay against them, but the sheer volume that Goddard could see, I've got to go with that.
And then Higgins or McLaurin. You have Higgins, I assume, right? Or no?
Yeah, Higgins.
Very high on the Higgins this week. Hopefully it comes to fruition. Jesus Corrales, start Kittle or Kmet?
I'm going Kittle there. What about you?
Agreed. Oh, it's look, I like Kmet, but like if you have Kittle, you're playing Kittle. Trade Kmet right now, again, is values at its zenith. Burrow bullies, Love or Carr in a super flex. Ooh.
I'm going back to Jordan Love there.
Agreed.
I keep mentioning it, but the offensive line injuries, like the Saints only have 2 good offensive linemen and they're both injured. Like the center's injured. That's going to throw a lot of stuff off. All the play action, all the motion stuff they want to do, I think starts to struggle when you've got a bad offensive line.
Stephen Quills, Pickens or Quentin Johnston?
I'm going Pickens there. I think that,
100%.
the breakout game is really, it's coming, and this Colts defense, bad against the run, it's bad against the pass.
It's today. Today is the Pittsburgh coming out party. That's what we get. All of the Steelers today. Luke Buchanan, Johnston, Mooney, or Jennings in the full point PPR?
I'm going Mooney there. You high enough on Jennings to take him ahead of
I'm
Mooney?
going on Jennings again, man. I think Purdy just loves Jennings. Showed you in the playoffs, showed you in the Super Bowl. Dude just loves Jennings. I'm good with that. It's close enough where I would just take Jennings in this scenario. Especially because if I'm, I want Christian Gonzalez on Debo. Like Debo is the guy, or Ayuk, you're taking those guys away, right? Like at some point, Jennings is going to get loose there. I just feel like Debo is back, but Debo would not be 100% necessarily. Here's one: Titans defense or Browns defense. I got to tell you, with the way things are going, no Devontae Adams, it's hard not to like the Browns this week.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the way I'd go with that as well. It's just, yeah.
Christopher Beatty, Keenan Allen, or KW3? It's definitely Ken Walker.
I can make the argument. Yeah, it's just the Lions are so good against the run. They've really allowed so few blow-up games. I think, if you feel good about Kenneth Walker, then I'd go with that. But I could definitely make the argument to myself that Keenan Allen could have a better day.
Well, let's take a look here because let's evaluate how good the Lions really are against the run, right? Okay. So week 1, they played the Rams, right? Okay, so Kyron Williams, pretty good. Buccaneers run game has been putrid. Cardinals are mid, right? Like, haven't really faced anybody. So I don't know if I believe quite about how good they are or not yet. Like that's my only thing. Like I'm not like stomping up and down saying they're, the best front in the league. Coop Deuce, Deontay Johnson, or Khalil Shakir in the full point PPR. Excuse me. I'm going DJ.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson by quite a bit.
How sad is it going to be if Andy Dalton's the guy that ends the Bengal season for those Bengal fans? Like that's got to be just brutal.
I mean, I've got the 2 Raven shirts behind me. If that happens, then I'll be tweeting. I'll be chirping.
Follow him on social media, folks.
But also, if that happens, are you ready for the next sort of 7-8 weeks of hearing T. Higgins should be traded to this team? T. Higgins should be traded to this team. Only the Bengals to do absolutely nothing about it.
Well, they might. I mean, if their hand is forced at that point, they might have no choice. Otherwise, why'd you draft Jermaine Burton? Cameron Mortensen, Roshan Johnson, or Pittman in the flex?
I gotta go. I'm going Pittman there.
Me too. I think Roshan might outscore him, but I don't think we're ready for that changeover quite yet. Let's go to Kazan's question. J.K. Dobbins or Ken Walker, half PPR? It's Ken Walker for me. Again.
I'm going J.K. Dobbins. I've got Ken Walker down at RB29, J.K. Dobbins down at RB25.
Brian Lawton, sup fellas, Kamara or Connor this week?
I've got James Conner just a spot ahead of him.
Next is Malo, Addison, or Shaheed. I'd go Shaheed here.
Yeah, Shaheed, probably by about 10 spots.
With Olave not being 100%. Ben Stayer, Sutton or Jennings? I go Jennings here.
Yeah, Jennings. No part of Sutton.
Next up here is Darnage Davis, Dortch, or Lazard.
I'm going Dortch just because of the high over-under in that game, the potential shootout, whereas Lazard, yeah, he might get in the end zone, but I just don't think the Broncos-Jets is going to be a great sort of place for a lot of fantasy points.
It's not going to be a great place. So you just stop there. It's just not good. It's going to be just that game has 16-6 written all over it. What's the under? I gotta go look, see if I bet that right. Ryan Martin, Flowers or Cooper half PPR.
I'm just leaning towards Amari Cooper there.
I'll tell you what. There's a chance where the game does go crazy though. Like if Bo Nix throws a pick 6 or 2, where all of a sudden it becomes a very lopsided, like 24-6 kind of game. Let's go to let's see, Racer Dave, full PPR, flex Achan, McLaurin, or Higgins. It's still Achan for me. I can't.
Yeah, it's still Achan. I know he's been disappointing, but I'd give him at least one more week and hope that Snoop Huntley, like the defense, are accounting for him having some level of dual threat ability, and maybe it helps him.
Matt H, Adunze or Shakir in the PPR.
I'd go Shakir there.
Next up, Samuel, dig it. Can you dig it? Diggs or Ken Walker in the full PPR.
That one's Diggs for me quite easily. Are you high enough on Ken Walker? You'd start him.
I am. If Ken Walker's back in, it's back to Ken Walker. Like I'm not mucking around. I think Seattle covers this game. I think Seattle's a lot to prove. Everybody's talking trash about them, understandably so, because they haven't beaten anybody worth their salt. So I think the Lions have played really tight this year. They look like the team at the top of the mountain who is really tight, and I think that is a problem there. So that's where I'm at with that one. Let's go to Andrew's question. Sit one, who's out? Ayuk, Diggs, Kamara.
That's gonna be. Oh man, that's tough. I think it'd probably be Ayuk for me. Are you there, or would you be Diggs? Probably. It's Diggs, Ayuk that's the tough part, and I'd probably just lean.
I'd sit Diggs. I'd sit Diggs just because it hasn't been great so far. Travis Bibbs, Shaheed or Etienne?
Etienne for me.
Next up is Lee, sit one, PPR, Olave, Flowers, or London?
That's Olave. Like, just coming off a hamstring, I just don't have much faith in any player who's come off a hamstring that he suffered on Friday. Like, it seemed really doubtful to play.
Let's go to Q. Joe Burrow or Mahomes? Again, why do you have both these guys? What are we doing here? You got to trade one of these guys. You got to trade somebody.
I'd go Joe Burrow just because a little more faith in that game being like, if the Bengals come out and want to get right, then it's going to happen through the passing game.
Next up here, Evans or Deontay Johnson from Jordan?
That's Deontay Johnson for me.
All right, let's go to who's next here? Scroggy Moto, Ertz or Freiermuth?
That's a pretty horrible one. I'm going Pat Freiermuth.
Zach's question here. Need two. JSN, JMO, or Deontay? Who's odd man out?
That's JMO's the guy I'd sit there.
Agreed. Too much volatility. The other guys are better. I mean, although JSN's been volatile, I think you're right. I think this matchup will be more in his favor. John Gilligan, Bateman, or Superman?
Well, I mean, if we're talking superheroes, it's got to be Batman over Superman. Like,
yeah,
Superman's just.
Did I say Bateman?
You did. You just automatically.
I was reading. I was like, wait, it's a Batman or Superman? I thought it was Rashad Bateman question for a second. I'm like, who's he calling Superman? Cam Newton's not playing anymore. Look, Batman's a real guy, so like that's more impressive to me.
It's relatable on a level. Like, if I won the lottery tomorrow, could I become Batman? Maybe.
Sure.
Probably not, because
I mean, I'd probably rather be Superman. I think the superhero power. I want to fly. I'd rather be Superman. Let's go to Q Train 7. Plus, he's got that great hair. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. Q Train 7. Brian Robinson or Ken Walker?
Brian Robinson for me.
I'm Ken Walker show. Let's go. We're back. Likely or Conklin? For Andrew Wilkes. Half PPR.
I don't enjoy it. I think if you're looking for ceiling, I'd go with Isaiah Likely. But if you're projected kind of like to be winning this matchup, then I'd probably go with Conklin. He's probably got a bit better floor.
Eduardo, full PPR, Quentin Johnson or Bucky Irving?
I don't really have a strong lean there. Let me check my rankings. Where are you at on that one?
Bucky probably is the safer way to go on this one. Let's be honest with you. Like the QJ thing is like just all over the place today, I think, potentially. I don't think it's bad.
Well, I mean, so much of Quentin Johnson's value has come from his touchdowns. He's got more touchdowns already this year than he had all of last year. Whereas, like if that runs out, he's probably not giving you a lot. So probably Bucky Irving.
Let's go to Alejandro, JSN, or Dobbins.
Oh, no, we're talking. I'd still go JSN.
Let's go to DK or Robinson Jr. I got to play DK Metcalf.
Yeah,
come on, Jay.
definitely DK Metcalf there.
Come on, Jay. Don't overthink it. Hart, JSN, or Deontay, or Higgins. Who's number one in the ranks for you this week? Is it still Higgins, right?
It's Deontay. Deontay's like
Deontay.
that
Okay.
top end, sort of like low end wide receiver 1, top end wide receiver 2, whereas Higgins kind of squeezing in like wide receiver 24 range.
Don't forget, everybody, drop your comments below and you might win the Stunner Ring from Trophy Smack. This is our latest giveaway. How do you win it? Drop a comment, subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, ring the bell till it goes ding for notifications. That's it. So get involved in this. We're giving something away every single week here, and this is our newest giveaway from Trophy Smack, the #1 store for epic fantasy tournament trophies. So check it out today. Back to the questions here. Tom's got a question. Half PPR, London, Deontay Johnson, or Godwin? Godwin
That's
for me.
It's Godwin for me as well. He's a wide receiver 9 in my rankings, but I've got wide receiver 9 Godwin, wide receiver 10 Drake London, and then Deontay Johnson, wide receiver 11. So I would like to start all 3 of them.
I wish I had more Godwin. I just didn't have enough shares this year. He was going at a discount. I should have taken more. I just didn't do it. Ken Rush, Dobbins, or Ramondre?
That's Ramondre for me.
Next up is Time Money on deck. Sit 1, Montgomery or Ayuk. I'm playing Montgomery because that guy just scores every week.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. I don't enjoy that decision, but
I don't either, but I'm just taking the tutty. Like that's it. Mason, Komet, or Gesicki?
I think I'd probably go Komet there, but they're probably quite a similar range. Yeah, it's not separated by much.
Gordo got a question here. Gordon wants to know Brian Thomas or Roshan standard scoring.
I don't play much standard these days, but I think I'd lean towards the running back on that. Where are you at on it, Joe?
Normally I would, but I don't know what that backfield is. So Brian Thomas has more touchdown equity. So give me Thomas. But it's good that you have Roshan. I think that's a good roster spot. Calvin Ridley or Waddle? I'll give me the unknown Waddle with Huntley here.
Yeah, I'd take Waddle a couple of spots ahead of Ridley.
Eduardo, Michael Wilson, or Tyler Lockett?
It's going to be Lockett.
Okay. Andres, full PPR. Jennings or McConkey?
Oh, man. Like this, like all the questions I'm going McConkey. The breakout's coming.
We'll see. Kincaid or Goddard this week for Todd? You got to go with Goddard.
Yeah, Goddard plays at least all the snaps as opposed to Kincaid, who, just sits on the side for half a game.
Sebastian Baccaro, good morning, pros. Pitts, Dortch, Rashad White this week, full PPR. I quite like Pitts this week. I really do against New Orleans.
Yeah, I like Pitts.
I think
too.
That's the breakout we're knocking on the door. Like we're getting very close.
I know, and it's like so many people seem to be out, and it feels like eventually it's going to happen. The Saints will have 5th most fantasy points to the tight end position so far. Just get a tutty.
I love Pitts this week. Montgomery or Najee Harris? I think you got to go with Najee with the full workload.
Yeah, absolutely.
They both have touchdown equity too. Then D Nuts, Achan or Connor? Again, it's Achan.
Yeah,
he's too explosive. He's too talented. Steve Ma, Josh Downs or Dortch?
I think I'd just lean to Downs 2nd week back. Where you at?
I'm going with Dortch. I think Dortch can give me more PPR points. I just think somebody's going to step out there. Let's go to Brad Reed, Debo or Drake London, half PPR.
That's Drake London for me.
Nicholas, full PPR. Keenan Allen, Worthy or JSN?
That's going to be JSN.
Loving the JSN. He better show up. Otherwise, it's going to be a 1-week wonder. This is piss a lot of people off. How about Carson Steele or Akers from Spidey?
Oh, I'd go Akers there just because it's a bit more clear what's going to be on the table for him.
Jewel, gross. Leggett or Swift?
I mean, like the Rams defense talked about, they're bad against the run and the pass. Possibly just lean towards him over Leggett. Where you are on, Joe?
I'm going to lean towards Swift, but I hate life.
I'm
looking to stream somebody off the waiver wire. That's my answer.
Yeah, put your phone down. Don't check those scores.
Where's Mooney? Who's out there? Is Braylon Allen out there? Go at him. Let's go to Judy or Michael Wilson from Vic.
I think I'd just lean towards Judy there by a few spots.
Yeah, I would concur. Let's go to Because Smoke, Josh Jacobs, or Brian Robinson Jr.
I'm going Brian Robinson. I think like I've got him a high end running back too.
All right. Next up here is Jamario Harris, Diggs or Shaheed.
Diggs.
This is where I think I like Diggs too. I think we are hand in hand on this one. TJ wants to know Goff or Fields.
I'm going with Fields there. I mean, like if you
Same.
just look at like how these two players have been playing, Justin Fields completing what like 72% of his passes. Jared Goff is really doing poor in like completions over expected and stuff. Just lean to Fields.
Olave, Ken Walker, or JMO in the half PPR. This is from OK Cool Hook'em.
I'm with you on the Ken Walker love on this one. Would you start him ahead of Olave?
Touches this week. That's what I'm looking for. Again, I think Seattle's going to be competitive. Robin Wolf, Olave, or Debo?
Debo
it is right there. Again, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us here at the stream. If you have any more questions, of course, you can hit us up on social media. You can also go to our Discord, fantasypros.com/chat. It's a great way to join that community, obviously. We've got a lot of folks there ready to help you out, ready to get you ready to go for all of your needs this week. And of course, don't forget, right here on the channel, we're here every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, live at 3 p.m. Eastern to answer all your questions as well. Tom, I'm having trouble here bringing up the other questions, so we're in a bad spot here, Seth. From where we are, because I can't scroll all the way up to the top for some reason. Oh, there it is. There's a starred one. Never mind. We're good. Let's try to slam a couple more in here. Nicholas Alexander, Najee, or Jaden Reed? That's the question here.
I'd go Najee.
Okay, Najee there. Let's go to Edwin. That's just his address. I guess he just wants to win this stunner.
Congratulations.
Edwin, congratulations. I guess you're the winner. I mean, what's going on there? Let's go to finisher. Alexander out, Darnold over Fields.
No. I can't do Donald over Fields.
I don't think so either. Bench one. Let's go to Moss, Walker, Jacobs in the full PPR. Moss is the odd man out for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Omar's question, Andrews or Likely? Here we go.
It's Andrews week. Like, look, Isaiah Likely.
Everyone he's done too. We're going to have a funeral on Monday morning show for Kelsey and Andrews.
And for half my fantasy teams.
And for half of you and Andrew Erickson together.
Oh, yes.
And Worm, the three of you, between the two Ravens fans and all the Andrew Erickson, Mark Andrews shares. It's going to be rough. Let's get to next question here. Hurts or Burrow?
It's Hurts for me, but they're back-to-back in my rankings.
Trade one. Stop with the two giant quarterbacks. Wilson Knox, Ken Walker, or Braylon Allen? Ken Walker.
Ken Walker, yeah, by a long.
Let's not go crazy here. Come on. Dylan. Pick two, Dobbins, Jacoby Myers, Akers. Stick with the RBs?
Yep, both the RBs.
Marius wants to know Reed or McLaurin.
Ooh, Jaden Reed by about 1 or 2 spots in my rankings.
Very close. Kevin, Dobbins or Rashad White?
That's going to be Dobbins.
Dobbins for me too. And then Ford or Steele? I'd go Steele there.
I'd go Steele too, yeah.
I am not a Ford guy. V. Rosa, Harris or Hubbard, Shakir or Kirk? Najee for me.
No, Najee on the first one, and then on the second one, it's Shakir.
It's Shakir. Okay. Alex, Amari Cooper or Ayuk in the PPR?
I'm just leaning towards Ayuk. What about you, Joe?
Same. Just so inconsistent, Cooper. Akers or Ken Walker in PPR? I'm going Ken Walker again.
I'm going Akers.
Next up here, gosh, so many Ken Walker questions. JSN or Evans in the PPR?
That's Mike Evans. I know I've talked a lot about how much I love JSN in the matchup this week, but it's still Mike Evans.
All right. Kamara in or out today? He is in, folks. Also, Baker or Richardson today? Who would you rather play?
Yeah, it's going to be Anthony Richardson.
All right. I can understand that. Like, I totally get it. Akers or Rome in a full point PPR?
That's Akers, like probably by a decent bit. Obviously, if you're shooting for ceiling, if you're down, you've hit some, like somebody scored big against you on Thursday night and you want to shoot for ceiling, maybe I'd go with Rome, but otherwise, yeah, Akers.
All right, everybody. Don't forget to drop your comments below. Subscribe to the channel. You might win the Stunner Ring from Trophies Smack. We're giving it away. Also, quick shout out to when we're done here, go check out Game Blazers. It's cards, it's daily fantasy. You can build lineups, rip packs, and win cash. Again, Over $100,000 in prizes already gone out there. Go check out Game Blazers right after the show. The link is in the description, so just click right on it and give it a go. And of course, if we missed your question, go to the autopilot feature on your My Playbook app. Download the app today. Go to fantasypros.com/myplaybook, and you'll get instant email notifications whenever a change is made. Those last minute changes that you need. Tom, I wouldn't change anything about the hour we spent together. It was so nice to finally work with you here after all these many, many months. And of course, shout out to Erickson and Welsh, and of course, our producer Seth, and to all of you hanging out with us here at Fantasy Pros. Good luck, everybody. May all your fantasy dreams come true. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Tom, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Happy week 4.